Hello, hello, Sam.
What's up, brother? We're
What,
so back.
dude? We gave everybody a warning a couple of weeks ago that at this time of the year, the NFL schedule gets really weird. You got to pay attention to all the games. Before the show, we're having a conversation. Neither of us have realized that 5 games have already been played before Sunday at 1 o'clock. Um, Absolutely wild. Saturday, 2 games yesterday, 3 games on Christmas Day. Pretty insane.
Saturday NFL football is an affront to God.
Yeah,
Okay, I
man.
don't know what these bastards think that they're doing, but it's confusing, and I got shit to do. I can't just watch football all Saturday, all
Dude, that's
Christmas,
four
and all
days of the
Sunday,
week. That is like
and
literally
Monday
four
night.
of your possible 7 days for you to do anything. You got to watch NFL football. Couple of interesting things happened this week, Sam. We are, again, 5 games has been played on Christmas Day. 3 games were played. We saw three, not backup quarterbacks, but third string quarterbacks start NFL football on Christmas Day. Truly insane. It was Max Brosmer of the Minnesota Vikings, Josh Johnson of the Washington Commanders, and I don't even remember the guy's name for the Kansas City Chiefs. Um, Oladoom or Oladukin or something of that nature. He
I,
played
I know
well,
what
I
it
gotta
looked
say.
like. I can't tell you what it sounded like.
He played well. We also have some unfortunate news for myself and any other Colts fans, but yesterday, 4:30 p.m. Eastern, the Houston Texans beat the LA Chargers, which means that my Indianapolis Colts have been eliminated from playoff contention. We're playing for vibes and vibes only today, so that'll be fun. We're also gonna have Max on later today. You guys might have seen him a few weeks ago. He'll be on around 3 o'clock. Max is a Lions fan. The Lions have also been eliminated from playoff contention. That was on Christmas Day with the loss to the Minnesota Vikings. A third string quarterback against Jared Goff and a fully healthy offense could not get the job done. Um, Pretty insane to
Max,
see.
Max and Knock both now playing just for vibes in
I
their
just want to see
NFL.
the old man sling it, man. I'm here for Uncle Phil. I won 3 touchdowns today. He played lights out against the 49ers. We just could not get a stop on Monday night. Sam, we have a couple of interesting games, 7 games today at the 1 o'clock slot. We're going to walk through our lines. We know that you have placed a few bets already. I'm pulling them up so if you see me aside. As a quick aside, you're gonna hear my voice a little weird. I look a little disheveled. If you hear me cough and it sounds like I'm dying, don't worry, I'm not. I'm just sick and I'm juicing myself up on some meds to hopefully suppress some of that over the course of the show here. Talk
Getting
to
the
us.
cortisol.
What do you what do you have placed today?
Yeah, up first, I see it there. Jacksonville and Indianapolis. I love the Philip Rivers story. It's been electric. One of my favorite things that's happened in recent memory in the NFL. I thought the fact that they scored 28 points with Philip Rivers and didn't even come close to being competitive in the fourth quarter of that game was one of the most disappointing things that I've ever seen in all of sports. Like that defense should be absolutely ashamed of themselves, especially after what they did against Seattle, holding them to 0 touchdowns from Sam Darnold and 16 points or 18 points, whatever they ended up winning that game with. Absolutely insane. So because of that, here I am taking the Jaguars against the Colts. There was a lot of rumors swirling around that maybe the Colts were actually going to take their backup quarterback and put him in so that he could get a little bit of reps now that they're not playing for the playoffs. I'm glad that old man Rivers is still going to be in there. People say that Philip Rivers looks good. I think that is a misnomer. I think he's playing well, but if if you just had the eye test, he looks terrible. Every pass.
To be fair, that's what he looked like in his prime, all right? He has always had this shot put throw. Philip Rivers has never thrown a nice tight spiral. He's never been one to pure mechanics. That guy is just trash talking and shot putting. That's all he does.
And it's a beautiful thing, but it will not keep them within 3.5. So I have the Jacksonville Jaguars against the spread here. I'm taking them minus 3.5, and I feel pretty good about it for just about even money.
Fair enough. I think one of the games that jumped out at me today is the New Orleans versus Tennessee game, and I'm pretty sure you also have placed a bet there. But talk to me a little bit about your logic here. I think that this line is wildly disrespectful. I think Tyler Shuck has been one of the very quietly great quarterbacks from the rookie class this year. Probably the best quarterback of that rookie class this year so far, going against the number one pick in Cam Ward. I think he's been overlooked largely because New Orleans is a relatively small market team. A lot of their stars have been hurt. We've seen them figure it out with Chris Olave lately over the last little while here. So for me, this is not, a 4% swing here. The difference between these two teams is way bigger than 4%. This line feels disrespectful to me. Money line, I'm slamming it money line, but you're taking the spread. Talk to us there.
I am, yeah. Anytime the spread is set at 2.5 instead of 3, it just feels so much better, or 3.5, I should say. So I was excited about this because the Tennessee Titans, despite winning that one game against the Kansas City Chiefs, I just don't really believe in their team as a whole.
Yep.
But the New Orleans Saints have consistently kept games extremely close and lost a ton of them, but they've won the majority of them recently. And so you combine that with a rookie that's probably going to be the offensive rookie of the year in Tyler Shuck. He's been a top 10 fantasy quarterback over the last 10 weeks. Kellen Moore's play calling seems to be doing really well. Titans have been really inefficient, really low scoring games. They have just absolutely terrible high motion play action offense that just doesn't seem to be performing well at all. I don't like it. I think that the Saints are going to come away with this one pretty cleanly. With that being said, anytime it's two bad teams, I always have a hard time feeling super confident in it. But for again, 2.5 points for the Saints, I felt like it was a pretty easy yes.
Talk to me a little bit. You mentioned Tyler Shuck probably going to be O'Roy. I also agree with that, and I don't think it's particularly close outside of Tedero McMillan. Tet has been not only the best rookie wide receiver this year, but one of the better wide receivers in the NFC period over the course of the last, let's call it 16 weeks. Do you think Tyler Shuck wins that award just based on the fact that there's this quarterback premium? We talk about MVP. It's not really MVP. It's who's the best quarterback award. Some people say maybe there should be a Cy Young style trophy in the NFL where it's just here's the best quarterback and here's the most valuable player. It feels like O'Roy has been that way over the last couple of years as well. Do you think Shuck gets there because of the premium on the position, or do you just think he's been the better rookie overall above Tedero McMillan?
I think you're exactly right. Like Tet literally is not even considered in my mind because he's not a quarterback. If all the quarterbacks sucked, then I'd be like, okay, yeah, now you have to have a conversation. But I think that it's still going to be a quarterback award. I totally agree and echo the fact that we need a sort of Cy Young thing to prevent this from always being a quarterback award, similar to the MVP. I had to check my second screen here to be sure. Chris Olave is on my must starts, but I wasn't sure if I actually went into FDF and started him. But Chris Olave, absolutely electric lately. A big reason that Tyler Shuck has been able to get the ball downfield and score a bunch of touchdowns. I've got three other bets, but none of them are money line or against the spread. All of them are overs. Your boy loves the
Oh,
over.
dude, I'm
And
so
today
bad
they're
at guessing the
juicy.
overs, man.
Today they're juicy. Yeah, you were abysmal last week, which is exactly why I'm going to bring it back this week. I want you to guess the over on. Let's start with Seattle, Carolina. What do you think the over is on Seattle, Carolina?
Seattle, Carolina. Shootout. We got two NFC teams. Seattle playing for that first seed in the division. Carolina loses today. That game basically goes to a week 18 against the Bucks for who gets in at top of NFC South. Should be a high scoring game. Dude, I was so wrong last week. Like my gut wants to say like 35, but I feel like it's probably closer to like 44 and a half, 45.
42 and a half.
Okay,
Uh,
close. I'll take that.
dude, the Seahawks have been scoring 35 points a game by themselves,
Unless they're playing
minus
the
the Colts
Colts,
game.
to your
Yeah,
point, right? 15 points.
yeah,
But hey, Jason Myers, the guy on the Seahawks now who's leading the NFL in total points scored, he is a kicker.
yeah.
He is, if you rated him as like a running back in fantasy over the course of the last couple of weeks, he's like RB10 on the year. So obviously that team can score from pretty much anywhere. I see that. And you're taking the over on that one?
I'm taking the over. Carolina's offense finally doesn't suck. I didn't want to take 6.5 on Seattle in Carolina. Sounds a little bit crazy,
Yeah.
but I think expecting just both offenses to perform average or slightly above average feels pretty fair to me. Carolina also missing one of their best defensive players, their star defensive tackle. So I don't like their odds of being able to hold Seattle under like 28.
Yeah.
And I think for sure Carolina is going to be able to put up 14,
You're hoping for some of that garbage time. That score is not too crazy. What else you got?
Up next, what do you think the over under is on Pittsburgh, Cleveland.
Okay, Pittsburgh, Cleveland. We're gonna talk about DK later today. I am so excited to talk about that later in the show. We've got a Pittsburgh team who is now missing their star wide receiver. We've got the Browns who are eliminated from the playoffs, but do have the opportunity to spoil the season for the Steelers. A loss here for the Steelers forces them into a head-to-head against the Ravens next week for who gets into the division. No DK Metcalf. Myles Garrett is one sack or maybe even a
What?
half sack, one sack away from breaking that record. I think that this is a low scoring defensive affair. I think that the over here cannot be higher than like 32 and a half.
Dude, that's insane. It's 35 and a half, and I still think that that's egregious. And I'm
Yeah,
gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. Okay, yes, he is half a sack away from tying the sack record. He's one sack away from breaking it. And you know that they want this to happen against the
oh
Steelers,
yeah.
the team that has owned them so bad that our Hall of Fame quarterback 2 weeks ago got on stage and said, "Thank you to the Browns for not drafting me. Just another Steelers win." They would like nothing more than for the sack record that's currently tied by TJ Watt to be broken by Myles Garrett against TJ Watt and the Steelers. I think that the Browns are going to do what the Browns always do, which is sloppy, degenerate play. And that's going to lead to them selling out in order to get them that sack record. But it's also going to mean that Aaron Rodgers is going to be able to get the ball downfield. They're going to blow some coverages. They're going to do some dumb shit that's going to result in this being like a 30-14 game. However, he will get the sack record and they'll take the moral victory.
Man, I'm so concerned about that logic because look, in my in my head here, if the Browns don't keep this game close, you're running the ball. And if you're running
Yeah.
the ball, Myles Garrett is not getting that sack record. So for me, there's a conversation internally where Myles is walking over to Shadur's locker today and says, "Hey, whatever you do today, just don't fucking suck, man. Like, put us in a position where we're at least a score and a half, maybe two scores down. Give me something where I'm going to have some opportunities to get to Aaron Rodgers." Because we saw it earlier in the week. The Steelers literally said, at all costs, we must not allow Myles Garrett to get the sack record against us. We're willing to take holding penalties to ensure that this does not happen. I think it's going to take a lot out of the Browns to keep this game close. I agree with you. I think the Steelers probably end up blowing this out. Some part of me says like, hey, it's a divisional game. There's a defensive storyline on the line here. It just feels you're missing your star wide receiver. It just feels like this is going to be a slogfest. I only see two outcomes for this game. It's going to be like 10-6, or it's going to be, to your point, 30-14 or something stupid like that. I just cannot see like some middle ground where it's like 28-21, or it's going to be a blowout, or 4-point game, nobody scoring more than 10.
Our star receiver is playing. Okay, Kenneth Gainwell, totally healthy.
That stupid catch. Oh man.
Ridiculous. One more stat. This doesn't matter to the bet that I placed because I hit the over on this. The Steelers 7-2 against the spread in division games this season, which is crazy because division games usually very tough to beat the spread in. Myles Garrett, like we talked about, probably going to be going for that sack record, but Cleveland's offensive line on the other side giving up the highest projected pressure rate in the league this season and also has some serious injuries. So likely the Browns offense is going to struggle, which does work against me on taking that over. But with that being said, defensive touchdowns are also a thing. We'll take it where we can get it.
Love it, dude. Let's go to our stardom situm. I'm going to pull up our, who knows what, there we go. Okay. This is the Fantasy Pros. Now, not a perfect one-to-one analog because in FTF, you do have that 3-point bonus for the 100 yards rushing, receiving, 3 points for that 300-yard passing game. But here's what Fantasy Pros are ranking players in PPR, so 1 point per reception. Out of the gate, Christian McCaffrey, number 1. Jahmyr Gibbs was ranked number 2 going into the week. Obviously, we know that that's not the case. He had a terrible game against the Vikings. But of this list, of your running back, of the players available on FTF, and we'll bring that up in a second as well, who is your must start? Anybody that jumps out at you from the running back position or any position overall? I'll pull up FTF as we're having this conversation. What's exciting to you this week? Who are you looking at? What do you want to see?
Man, at this point, you really start getting into like how much do teams like their players. There's some great Twitter threads going around about the incentives and bonuses that players can hit if they hit certain targets. Stephon Diggs, 4 catches away from $500,000. Same team, Hunter Henry, 3 catches away from $250,000. Different team, Rico Dowdle is about 70 yards away from 400 or $500,000. And so I'm tempted to say, well, let's put Rico in the fucking game and let him get his bonus, but there is 2 games left, so it doesn't necessarily mean that it has to happen. And as you said last week, there's another great running back there that they might be handed the ball to. So it's always tough to say. But I do really like the chance that Rico Dowdle has to maybe have a breakout game. We saw him perform really well previously. However, I'm more focused on Hunter Henry and Stephon Diggs. I think they're both must starts this week.
I think that that's a fair way to look at it. I'll give you a must sit, and it hurts my soul to say it. It's Jonathan Taylor. That
Mm,
is a team that has really struggled to get the ball moving over the course of the last little while. This is somebody that a lot of people were really excited about. I have quite a few shares myself about Jonathan Taylor over the course of this year, largely because he started the year scoring at will. Touchdowns were coming in twos and threes. He was rushing for 150 plus total scrimmage yards a game is 200. But we've seen since Daniel Jones got hurt in Atlanta, you've seen the RPO, the run pass option, be less effective. You've seen him have less space to run the ball. Now that Daniel Jones is out and you've got Phillip Rivers, there's even less space to run that ball. He's playing the Jaguars, which we always lose against the Jaguars, especially in Duval. And then on top of all of that, the Jags have one of the best run Ds in the NFL. That team is probably going to get ahead. We saw Brock Purdy and the 49ers absolutely brutalize the Colts secondary last week. You got to imagine a similar situation comes out this week. You have to imagine that if the Colts want to play for the win, they're probably going to have to abandon that run pretty early. He feels like it's a bad matchup. The team is bad. Our secondary is bad. It feels like you're going to be behind. Look at Jonathan Taylor, and I think he's an absolute must sit, somebody that you should not start this week. And then I want to talk a little bit about the tight end position because this has historically been pretty brutal. And I actually agree with you in your logic here on Hunter Henry. I think he's somebody who's interesting, especially because we've seen so many tight ends play earlier this week. Five
yeah.
different tight ends, all of which have had relatively unimpressive performances. I look at Tyler Warren. I'm not excited. I look at George Kittle. We saw the news today that George Kittle is likely not going to play, and it'll probably be Tungas who comes in and fills in. Obviously, that news is relatively new, so they haven't updated that yet on FDF. And then Brock Bowers has actually been put on IR. We will
Yeah.
not see him for the rest of the year. For me, that means much like the last 2 or 3 weeks, your absolute must start. Hammer this player if you've got him. It's Trey McBride. He's the only
Absolutely.
receiving target on the Cardinals that is doing anything this year in a field that is depressing when everybody is healthy. It's extra depressing this week. You've got four guys stepping in. Half the field is already played. It feels like if Trey McBride or Hunter Henry are not top two by the end of this day, something catastrophic has happened in those two games.
An ACL is torn
Yeah.
somewhere on the
So
field.
for me,
Yeah,
it's free.
Tyler Warren is absolutely a must sit. They put up 28 points last week, and he still wasn't a top 3 tight end in a
Yep.
situation where it was basically free if you scored a touchdown to be a top 3 tight end. I'm absolutely starting, though, Dallas Goedert against the Bills. These guys love a good shootout. Dallas Goedert has been working his way up the target list, getting more and more each week. I think there's a heavy, heavy chance. I'd be shocked, honestly, if he wasn't a top 3 tight end. I think he's definitely going to have a chance at a touchdown or two. And so if he's able to make those catches, I think he's almost a lock for it.
I hard to disagree with that. I think we've seen 15 targets from Phillip Rivers over the last 2 weeks. From Tyler Warren on the side of Dallas Goedert, what we've seen is Jalen Hurts, who can't throw the ball very far, but has peppered Goddard with a lot of creative plays over the last little while. We saw that shovel pass 2 weeks ago, Goddard coming in
Yep.
motion. The Bills and the Eagles are two teams that I've said many times over the course of this year have the potential to be great, have the ability to be great. I largely think that they're both fraudulent teams, and I don't think either of them are going very far in the playoffs. It'll be interesting to see what happens when two fraudulent teams play each other in a game that does have some seeding implications.
What do you think the likelihood is that Josh Allen has a bounce back game? I feel like it's like 90% that he puts up another 30-point fantasy scoring performance because I just
Yeah.
don't see him having two terrible weeks in a row. I think against the Bill or the Browns too. it was just like a fluke personally.
I think what you're starting to see with Josh Allen and the Bills is it's really hard to play football as a quarterback when you have nobody to throw the ball to. And I think in Buffalo, you're looking at Khalil Shakir, who is available on FDF, who's somebody I would probably sit. But Khalil Shakir is a wide receiver two at best on other teams. He's probably a wide receiver three in most rosters. He's your leading receiver,
It's
right? You're looking
crazy.
at Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox, good tight ends, but you don't want they're no Trey McBride, right? You don't want your main pass catching opportunity to go to somebody like that. So what do you really have on that team? You've got James Cook. And James Cook does a lot in space. He does a lot in the passing game. He's an incredible running back, leading the leagues in rushing yards. I understand the logic. I just have such a hard time. I have a hard time doing the math on where do those points come from? Who's he throwing the ball to? Unless Josh Allen is scoring 2 rushing touchdowns today, I think he probably has another stinker. Good defense, a team that has struggled against good defenses over the course of the year. It's hard to not see him have another bad day.
Another spread that really surprised me, Cincinnati favored by 7.5. I'm not surprised that they're favored, but 7.5 against the Cardinals, one of the biggest spreads of the day. Obviously, New England and the Jets, 13.5, absolutely massive. That was the last bet that I took on the day so far, is 42.5 is the over under there. And I think that, again, the likelihood that just the Patriots score 40 points is pretty high, and I'll give the Jets at least 3. So I'll take the over. But curious what you think about those two.
I would agree on the over on the Jets game. I think the spread against Cincinnati, the Bengals are a team that I just don't trust, and I've decided now that I don't want to bet on anymore.
Yep.
Look, they
Same.
put up an absolute stinker against the Ravens a couple of weeks ago. They have a shootout with the Bills. It's just you don't know which version of Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals are going to come out. And to me, if I had to guess, if I had to pick one game out of the Sunday 1 o'clock slots, that would be your trap game. Arizona and Cincinnati feel like the most obvious trap game here. I don't think it's the Jets. People say, oh, it's the Jets. It's a divisional game. Bullshit. Jets are going to get blown out by New England. They absolutely will. New England is still a team playing for that number 1 seed. The Cardinals at Cincinnati, I think Jacoby Brissett and Trey McBride have a lot to offer. I think Brissett's somebody who's not afraid of just chucking that ball up there and hoping his boy comes down with it. And I think when you're playing a team like the Bengals, you need that. So for me, I think it's a trap game, Sam. I would avoid it. I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't like it at all either. One more stat that's sitting on my sheet that I didn't get a chance to mention that I just think is amazing. Indianapolis has lost 7 straight. We all know that. But what we don't know is the Jaguars have scored 25 points or more in every single road game this season, and they're in Indianapolis, which is pretty crazy, dude, for a team
Yeah,
that,
it's actually
especially
insane.
at the beginning, we thought was trash.
That is pretty tragic for me. We're seeing Mr. Sheshington on the FDF actual stream. As a reminder, if you're watching this, there's a couple of different things here, a couple of different streams. You're going to see 3 on X, 1 on YouTube. If you are watching this, we suggest and recommend that you watch it on YouTube, as it's our source of truth for all comments and chat. So I'm going to send that to you in the FDF channel here. Sheshington saying the Bengals defense is trash. No reason to touch them. Could not agree more. That team is absolutely tragic. And then right quickly before the 1 o'clock slot comes in, and maybe this will be our first ongoing pack piece giveaway earlier today, but we have a couple of questions in the FDF Discord asking, what game should I watch? I think a couple of games jump out at me. Seattle and Carolina, very important game for both teams. Seattle playing for that 1 seed. Carolina actually winning this game eliminates the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So they have a chance to secure the NFC South today. That's an important game. If they lose this game and the Buccaneers win, you're going into week 17 or 18,
Crazy.
I guess, head to head for the division. Winner gets in, loser goes home. That's an important game to watch. Second most important game of the day for me, we alluded to it earlier. We're going to talk about it all day long. It's the Steelers and the Browns. The Steelers have a chance to shut out the Ravens, completely remove them from playoff contention with the win. A lot of interesting storylines. You're missing DK. The Browns are chasing that record for Myles Garrett. That record would beat a Steelers defensive end in TJ Watt. There's a lot of drama there. Be interesting one to watch. On that note, if you are watching, comment on YouTube whether or not you think that Myles Garrett will break that sack record today. If you're correct, you're eligible for a pack. Yes or no in YouTube. Yes, Garrett. No, Garrett. Make sure you're posting those comments down. We'll watch it over the last little week.
I love that one. Yeah, heads up, guys. I'm working with a little bit of reduced screens. I still have two monitors. Don't worry. I'll still be having eyes everywhere that I can. But I'll do my best to keep an eye on all the different chats and stuff like that. Drop into YouTube. If you're in our Twitter chat or something too, if you could drop the YouTube link for us, I'll try to proliferate it everywhere that we can. Uh, we have Obi-Wan back in the chat, and he's saying he's going to riot soon if we don't talk about Chris Olave. Chris Olave had a monster week. I was saying he was my must start this week, but I couldn't remember if I actually started him because I was so surprised I wanted to. So I had double back, but he is in there. A bunch of people dropping yes and no's on Myles Garrett. Looks like
A lot of
1, 2, 3,
yeses,
4, 5.
man.
Yeah, like 8 yeses to 1 no, actually. Lomer looking like he's about to take it home all by himself if he's right there.
Lomer, I'm rooting
Super
for you, man.
excited.
I want to see you win, but at the same time, I think for the drama, for the storyline, as a sports fan, nothing funnier than Myles Garrett breaking that record today against the Steelers.
The last game that you missed, man, on your list of must watches is this Seattle Carolina game.
No, I
If I'm
mentioned.
an objective observer, I'm all about it.
Oh yeah,
This is one of the most interesting games. I mean, in Carolina too, Seattle with a lot to play for, going for that number 1 seed. Carolina also trying to make the playoffs against literally everybody's predictions. If anybody in the world predicted that Carolina would be a better team than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I would like your truth teller card to be revoked because you're a fucking liar. I'm super excited for that game, but yeah, some history to potentially be made in that Steelers game as the Colts make it all the way back to the 50 on the kickoff. Looked
is
like
that
he was
Robbie
about to house
Gold?
that. Yeah. As a
Ashton
Steelers
Dulin.
fan too, I'm incredibly excited about an opportunity for this Steelers and Ravens game next week to not matter at all. I have had so
Nah,
many
that's bad.
I've
Boo.
had so many seasons boiled down to the Ravens on the last week, on the last play of the game to see who's going to win the division. And as bad as I love those games, I would really appreciate not having to take blood pressure medication next week.
I'll tell you what, looking at this Colts O line, I just realized now that we're down 3 starters, that entire right side of the line,
Oh,
and our center. That being said, early start to the game here on the 30-yard line already, just a minute and a half into quarter one. Surely something good happens here.
it is one of those things, man. As Jonathan Taylor again finds a little bit of a hole, I the more people that are injured, the more unlikely it is, the more it smells like a trap game inside of your division. You know, I wouldn't
Yeah.
be surprised if they're able to make some magic happen. The Browns now at midfield, unfortunately.
Patriots, says
There's
Steve Adler, already in the red zone.
Here we
Obi-Wan
go.
says here, Colts look like they're playing a lot freer with Old Man Rivers as the quarterback. I think that that's a byproduct of something that you've been seeing a lot over the course of the year. There's been a really big conversation about QB development and system versus the diagnostics. I think Rivers is the last of a very old breed of QBs who come to the line of scrimmage. They diagnose what they're seeing on the defensive front. They call a play. A lot of QBs today are just expected to do the thing that they're meant to be doing. Looks like the Patriots get into that red zone off of a big run from Ramondre Stevenson.
Sorry, trying to get the stream up on Twitter and stuff so we can make sure we're checking all the chats. Really excited to see how many people are joining us. Man, week number 5, me and Knock are both kind of surprised how fast everything has been flying, but so excited to be doing this week after week. And if you guys didn't see too, we're starting to get some real traction on other social media platforms. Had a post hit over 400,000 views on YouTube. So we're very, very excited about how the first 5 weeks have gone so far, and hope you guys are loving it too. But never be afraid to drop some more suggestions on how we could improve even more. I'm going to drop the YouTube and the other chats. Just a reminder, if you guys want to predict for a chance to win some packs, feel free to go to this YouTube channel. Drop if you think Myles Garrett is or is not going to break this sack record. The Steelers have not touched the ball yet, so you haven't missed anything. But as soon as he does get that, obviously your chances to win go to 0.
We in our championship Sunday, today, week 17, most fantasy football leagues are wrapping up today because a lot of nonsense happens in week 18. In our league, in my most important league, in the league that matters for all the bragging rights, we've got the Goliath, a man who has come first overall in the regular season on 6 different occasions over the course of the 8 years of this league. Never does anything in the playoffs. Finally, in the championship against a man who got there off the backs of Kyle Pitts, dropping 45 points in week 1 of the playoffs. I cannot wait to see how this plays out. That might have been Hunter Henry right out of the gate, Sam.
Just as I
Oh no, it's
predicted,
Austin Hooper.
Austin Hooper get the that
Oh
fucker.
my god. That is so funny.
Damn it, man. Well, I didn't get to it, but one of my other must starts was Drake May against the lowly Jets. So at least we'll take that. But damn, Hunter Henry, so close. They actually were showing a Hunter Henry graphic as they lined up for that play, not able to break the curse.
That's why I
Unfortunately,
thought it was him, to be honest with you.
Cooper,
Josh Downs, did he come up with this ball? No, he did not.
he did
Wow.
not. Unfortunately, Philip Rivers just barely overthrowing Michael Pittman in the back of the end zone on the previous play as well. Very, very close as the New England Patriots go up 7-0. Looking good on the over so far there. The Colts are going to settle for a field goal here. One of my other must starts because the Arizona Cardinals defense is so rough around the edges. Like you said, not betting on the Bengals, but I was betting on Jamar Chase, and I'm hearing that he just broke off a big play. Let's see what happens here.
May already 5.1 points on the day. That is pretty insane given the fact that that is just 2 minutes into that game.
You love to see it. The Bengals playing for nothing as well. Scramble out of Bryce Young. Looks like they're going to have to punt here.
Hey, Deathlock, I see that you posted both in the NFL chat on FTF as well as on Discord. It looks like that was filtered into my message request. I see it. We'll get you sorted today.
And what did you make out of the Ravens putting up 41 points without Lamar Jackson?
I make that John Harbaugh seemed to remember that he has one of the best running backs of all time on the team, and he said, "Hey, why don't we just give the ball to Derrick Henry 28 times to the tune of 221 yards and what was it, 4 touchdowns?" I'm actually going to bring this up. Thank you for reminding me because I wanted to talk about this a little bit. This is a guy who all year long has just had trouble after issue after issue. But look at this, coming into the day, our running back position at the top 3, you're going to need 18 points to even break into the top 3 today, which is pretty insane. But Derrick Henry sitting at 48.5 points, 220 yards. He gets that 3-point bonus for breaking the 100-yard rush. He gets 4 touchdowns. You know what's crazy, Sam? I feel like for the first maybe 10 weeks of the year, we didn't see a single player above 40 points. And every week now for the last 4 weeks in a row, every time we go look at FTF, we see where players are scoring. You've got a bunch of players. 2 weeks ago, it was Pitts. We saw Trey McBride go off. We saw Brock Bowers go off. We're seeing it now with Derrick Henry. It's pretty insane. One thing I want to point out that I think a lot of people are missing, Malik Willis put up 32.5 points. This is not Jordan Love. Jordan Love's best performance on the year is coming from when his backup was in the game, which is pretty interesting to see.
It is, man. As Jamar Chase goes in for a touchdown. Yeah, John Harbaugh has been getting flack for not using running backs literally the entire time that Lamar Jackson has been there. And maybe the message is finally getting through to him as they talk about firing him for not utilizing that what can only be described as one of the best over the last decade, period.
I will say that here's a hot take. It's time for Harbaugh to go, dude. I think that is a team that has just gotten stale. I think they've reached the peak. I think he's a great coach. I think he's going to be successful somewhere else. It's clear that he's not going to be successful in Baltimore. It has been a decade now. That team just has not been able to get over the hump. And you've got a 2-time MVP. You've got the best running back in the last 20 years. There's no excuse for not making at least one Super Bowl appearance, and they just have not been able to do it.
What do you think about Tomlin in the same vein? Because people have been saying this now about the Ravens and the Steelers quarterback, both of which have been there. Tomlin, I think, for 2 decades, John Harbaugh for like 16 years or something like that. Is it the same story there?
I think that team is a lot worse without Tomlin. I think that they don't have many of those 8-9 or 9-8 seasons without Tomlin. I think that they probably have a handful of 3 and 4 win years. At the same time, it's time for him to go. It's time for the GM to go. It's time to draft some players and add some depth to that team. I also think the biggest mistake the Steelers have made over the course of the last few years is not getting rid of TJ Watt. I think you could have moved TJ Watt for a first round pick and some a couple of years ago. I think it would have given him an opportunity to win a championship. And let's be real, 42-year-old Aaron Rodgers is not winning a Super Bowl. He's just not doing it in this era. So for me, yeah, Tomlin's got to go. That doesn't mean he's a bad coach. It just means that his time there has ended. And they really need to kind of clean house, because if you look at it over the last little while, that team has been carried by TJ Watt and Ben Roethlisberger and Mike Tomlin. There's not been a whole lot of other exciting things that have happened out of Pittsburgh in the last decade or so.
Are you making the same argument then for Myles Garrett right now? Do you think the Browns should trade him this year, try to get as much as they possibly can for the rebuild?
Absolutely. I would also go as far as saying Myles Garrett's an idiot for not walking.
Yeah.
Listen, you're going to take $2 or $3 million less, sure. But if you're giving yourself an opportunity as, probably the best defensive end of the last 20 or 30 years, an argument to be had for one of the top three of all time, the best defensive player we've seen in the NFL outside of a man named Aaron Donald, in my opinion, and J.G. Watt in his prime 3 or 4 years. He's a generational talent. He's a guy who deserves more than spending his entire career on the Cleveland Browns, which is just a fate that I would not wish on my worst enemy.
Yeah, it truly is a special world of hell where you're breaking all sorts of records while losing every single game. It reminds me of those like monkey paw curls sort of wishes where you're like, I wish I could break the sack record. And it's like, okay, but you're gonna lose 14 games every
Yeah, and you
season.
got to play on the Cleveland Browns for 10 years. We're
Yeah,
seeing
congrats.
Bry DeSanto, good friend of the show, and Gary talking about this in the NFL chat, but Jamar Chase already into the top three in third place, 12.9 points, just zero point 0.1 point back as Zay Flowers, 2 points gone of Amon-Ra St. Brown. And because we've highlighted that, that's where he's going to stand for the next hour.
Will not move a single point. Amazing play in the Seattle Carolina game where Sam Darnold was running backward away from three different defenders. He manages to escape the tackle box. So for people that are maybe European football fans don't know super well, the tackle box is kind of two parallel lines that go somewhat down the center of the field. He gets out of the tackle box and he throws the ball away. But the last part of that rule is you must get the ball to the line of scrimmage and you must be within range of a wide receiver. He throws the ball, but because he's 30 yards back, he only gets it about three-quarters of the way to the line of scrimmage. He gets called for intentional grounding and loses 27 yards on that play because he ran so far backwards. Now, 3rd and 30, they're going to be punting.
We're
The
going to have
Browns already scoring 3 points as well. That looks great for my over on the Steelers Browns
It
game.
looks great for Myles Garrett as well, man. Hey, the Steelers got to play some catch up ball. That's what you want to see. Dude, this Colts secondary, an atrocity to watch. Poor tackling, if you can even call it that. Mike McDaniels, this is a man who's probably coaching his second last game as the head coach of the Miami Dolphins. Tua confirmed to not be returning next year.
Yeah.
They're going to move on from Tua. Likely will move on from Mike McDaniels. Can't even really get a good pick here at 6-9. Is that Mecca Ibuka? Oh no, it's Chris
It's
Godwin.
Godwin. Unfortunately, your boy was I'm starting to lose faith on Emeka Ibuka. Last week they started to have all three of their wide receivers that everybody knows him for, Godwin, Evans, and now Ibuka. And I thought this is his chance. This is whenever he's going to shine again. He's not going to be facing a lot of safeties looking at him. He's going to be able to get downfield on man coverage. They're going to sling the ball to him. That didn't end up happening. Doesn't mean that it can't happen again. Maybe they all need to get in the rhythm of playing together again, but not looking good so far for him. Steve Adler asking what the first half contest is. We're doing Myles Garrett in the sack record right now. We could add another one. Do you want to maybe add something to that list? A wide receiver or quarterback rushing touchdown? Do we have any quarterbacks that might
Let's see
use
who's
the
in the
leg?
1 o'clock slot. We've got. I do like that one. It's so much fun. Okay, we've got
Dude, there's zero. Is there a single one outside of Drake May that's an
Sam
FBS? Oh, Baker
Darnold.
Mayfield.
Yeah, that's it.
Baker Mayfield and Drake May, I think, are the only two.
Yeah, let's take a look here. Okay, why don't we do this? Let's take a look at that tight end position they are playing. You've got 3 tight ends in the spot. Yeah, we could do that. Who is the highest scoring tight end between Hunter Henry, Tyler Warren, and Trey McBride by 2:05 p.m. Eastern? McBride, Henry, Warren. McBride is my must start. Hunter Henry playing for a bunch of incentives, needs 3 catches on the day to make a, what was it, $250,000.
Yep.
We've already seen Drake May leaning into that Hunter Henry into the tight end position overall with that touchdown going to Austin Hooper. Tyler Warren, we've had some mixed feelings. We said maybe don't play him, maybe play him, but those are your 3 options: Hunter Henry, Tyler Warren, Trey McBride. Which of those 3 tight ends have the most points by 2:05 p.m. Eastern?
I'm seeing about 6 McBrides to about 2 Henrys so far as the Jaguars try to get extremely fancy with a lateral play. Very rare to see that. And they end up turning the ball over the Colts now on their 20, which is a huge play. And the Steelers give up 42-yard pass play to a tight end, as is tradition. Why would we
Is that
beat
Fannin
the lowly
Jr.?
Browns as bad as we should?
It's actually hilarious that there's not one Tyler Warren coming in. If you had asked this question 4 weeks ago, 5
Yeah.
weeks ago, it would be nothing but Tyler Warren.
That's right, man.
You know, he fell from the favorite of Oroy around week 8 to now sitting at plus 7,500.
Wow. Yeah, incredible how much we can think we know about the NFL season and then find out how extremely wrong all of our predictions were in the second half of the NFL season. The Colts obviously suffered a lot of injuries. I don't want to necessarily put that on them, but it is a great example of just because things are a certain way today doesn't mean they're going to be a certain way tomorrow.
Indianapolis Colts went 7-1 in their first 8 and went 1-7 in their next 8. That is
Disgusting, dude.
pain.
Disgusting. Andy asking how long until 2:05 because obviously we're in a bunch of different time zones. It's about 45 minutes, I believe.
Yeah.
The Saints and Titans going up 3-0.
Drake
New
May with the
England now.
ball again.
Yeah.
And
Drake is gonna
who's
feast.
this?
Oh yeah.
That's yet another big white tight end that is not Hunter Henry catching
That's
the ball.
actually the equipment boy. Did you see this clip? Actually, this is a great opportunity for me to segue into what is one of the greatest equipment boy clips of all time. I have to I have to go through all these. Hang on one sec. Oh, I misplaced the link. Hang on, we'll find it.
Travion Henderson with a big run too. Obi-Wan loves Chris Olave today. Wants to see Chris Olave do it.
Yeah, Obi, I think might be also an Olave. Maybe that's his brother in the chat.
We've got Willie today saying, first time listener, Giants, only been in NFL and for a month. Welcome. We appreciate you tuning in, watching the show. We have been stricken with the NFL sickness for a lot longer than a month, and it's a lot of fun sometimes, just not when you're a fan of the Indianapolis Colts. We've got Oliver Maroney backstage here. I hear him giggling at the backs of my pain there, so we're going to pull him up in just a second.
Yeah, no, I'll pull up this clip as well. One of the most iconic plays in the history of being an equipment boy, which is pretty hard to be able to say. I think we found Adam Sandler from Waterboy, but incarnate. Absolutely incredible work from this lad.
Well, we're gonna pull up Oliver so he can watch this with us.
And of course, the Browns score a touchdown. Great for my over prediction. Terrible for the fact that I would like to have my team win a goddamn game that's super important.
Oliver, how you doing, buddy?
Doing good, guys. How are you?
We are doing well. Sam's doing a lot better than I am. The Colts were eliminated yesterday after the Texans beat the Chargers, but Sam's team alive and I don't want to say well, down 10-0 to the Browns, but alive.
alive, barely. We'll see. Shador is playing quite well, actually.
He's slinging it, man. I've been telling people we have one of the worst secondaries in football all year. Sometimes we cosplay like we don't, but then you just find out actually the Lions just suck that bad.
We need to see this.
Yeah, play this clip, man.
Sam claims this is the best.
This is his team hyping him up because the play is so epic. Watching the footage of the equipment boy.
He stands over him too, like he is celebrating the hit. I saw something a little bit earlier today that I wanted to bring up, and I got distracted. And I see, wow, DJ Moore and Omalide Zaccheaus both on the injury report because of illness.
Dang,
that'll be interesting. That actually has massive FDF implications because, to my understanding, Roma Dunze also not playing. You're now out DJ Moore. You're out Olamide Zaccheaus. You're now looking at the fourth man up for
Burden.
that position. Who is it? Oh, Luther Burden.
Luther Burden. Here he goes. This is his chance, guys. This is his chance.
Here is. I just saw it and it's gone. Anyway, the video that I was trying to show you earlier was somebody talking about the fact that 20 years ago, Aaron Rodgers threw an interception to Deion Sanders, and today he is playing against his son head-to-head in the AFC North, which is pretty crazy. Because earlier in the year, he would have been against, I guess it would have been Gabriel Davis or whatever the hell his name is at that time.
Yeah. Boys, I'm going to put in a live bet here, okay? There's no way the Steelers don't come back here, right? Right? Am I being a homer?
There's a way, brother. There's a way.
Fish, right? We at least bring it back from the dead.
So I'll give you no hope in my mind right now for the Steelers because I'm in 3. So I'm proud to say that I'm in 3 fantasy football finals this year out of my 5 leagues. And in one of the leagues, I have Aaron Rodgers. I've been riding with him all year long as my starting quarterback because it's a 2 QB league. And as you guys know, if you don't get the first 10, you start kind of struggling to figure out who that next group would be. And Rodgers just kind of sat there at late in the draft, and I picked him up. Long story short, I benched Rodgers for the first time all season for Malik Willis yesterday, which was a great move. But I have very little faith.
You're hurting me, man.
I love it.
I'm so worried about Rodgers against this Cleveland Browns defense in Cleveland, in the weather. The age, the whole thing, it just it smells of him getting hurt in the second or third quarter. And it just I've been fearful of it the entire time. It's why I benched him.
Oliver, do you believe that the Steelers get in? Or do you think that the Ravens are too hot right now?
I think the Ravens are going to end up. I think the Browns are going to play spoiler here. I think Shador has to play well in order to keep his job for next season, and there's something to play for here with Myles Garrett. So I think both those things are dangerous.
Sam,
Sam,
wearing the Steelers jersey, not loving that quote, but
that's brutal, dude.
That's what I said. I said that at the top of the hour. I said I think that the Browns are going to look at this game as an opportunity to play spoiler and knock off a team that they would really love to not be in the playoffs.
It's a playoff game for the Browns, man.
Yeah.
There's just it's as much, if not more, than the Steelers, just because of the historical element of the Myles Garrett sack record. I don't know.
Pick up anything below 10%. There he is, dude. There he is.
I mean, it's not a bad play. Of course, the Steelers need to win, and Rodgers is good, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough.
I'm feeling worried here.
I bought. Pull up the Kalshi lines real quick, Knock. Let's take a look at that swing that just happened off of the back of that.
Yep. Oliver, we can
the
still
Steelers,
hear you.
similar to the Bills, we've been really a second half team. Very few opening drive touchdowns, very few first quarter touchdowns, but very few blowouts as well. I think we've only gotten blown out in one game, and we've only blown out teams in maybe 1 or 2 games. And especially not in the fourth quarter. A couple of games have looked like blowouts, and we've let them right back in it. Shout out to the Vikings and some others. But yeah, you see a swing like that. I find it hard to believe that the Steelers aren't able to bring it back to 50-50 at some point. So this is a bet you could look to exit. Something I harp on a lot is how awesome prediction markets are, specifically for your ability to very fluidly enter and exit bets and be able to adjust lines the way that you would like to. I'm not advanced enough to have any major thesis on how to do that super effectively, but I know it gives me the illusion of an edge, and I appreciate that.
Nothing but vibes, baby. That's what we love to see. But hey, look, you're looking at 20-25% swing here if the Steelers bring that point back up to 50-50. You see a lot of emotional bettors too. All it really takes is here's when that field goal hits, that line drops from 60-40 down to basically 50-50 on 3 points.
Crazy.
And then it inverts on the remaining 7. So you got to figure that math probably works well. We've got, I can't even see the name. We've got Mepo in FDF in the NFL chat saying if the Steelers lose today, is the next game Steelers-Ravens to decide who enters the playoffs? The answer to that is yes, because the Steelers have recently won. They still have another game ahead of them, but that will be a week 18 playoff tournament there. Sort of that'll basically just be a playoff game to see who wins the AFC North. We've also got Steve Adler saying, am I the only one who plays best ball? No, I play best ball. Best ball is a ton of fun. If you're unfamiliar with the format, it's something that's really interesting. And it's basically what FDF is, at least to some degree. You don't have to worry about setting your lineups. You don't have to worry about, making sure that you're playing the right player. It's just, hey, if a player scores well and you've got them on your roster, then you're going to earn points for that player scoring well. I play in a really sadistic league where it's best ball and vampire. And which means every week, you draft your team.
Teams get eliminated.
Teams they force swap players. So we've
wow.
got a guy in our league who's 14-0. That team, you know what? I'm not even going to allow you to imagine this. I'm going to give you the name. So we've got a 14-0 guy against 11-3, but the 14-0 player has Dak Prescott, Jonathan Taylor, Jamar Chase, Amon-Ra St. Brown, George Pickens, Ferguson, God. JSN, Drake May, Breece Hall, Josh Allen, Puka Nacua, Bijan Robinson, Kyron Williams, Tedoroa McMillan, and Brock Bowers. Because when you win, you just send someone else. So we have a couple guys in our league now who are basically, it's 25-man roster slots, and 10 of those guys are on IR for the remainder of the year. So you can't even play the game. You lose 3 or 4 in a row. It's a lot of fun, and you feel hopeless. What'd you see, Sam?
Aaron Rodgers airing it out, got about 35 yards. Oh, a flag comes in super
pass interference.
Crush my soul.
I think that's no, I think it's on Cleveland.
OPI, you gotta be kidding
It's OPI.
me.
You know what's crazy? Look at the line on the screen, guys. Look at this line. You see Cleveland up at 70%. That ball, it drops down to below 60 and is now climbing back towards 70. This is what I was talking about. You have a ton of really emotional players.
Yeah. Those swing trades are one of the most interesting things in all of sports betting. The second you see yellow hit the field, there's a world in which you can harvest that edge literally thousands of times across football Sunday, a single football Sunday.
We've got
it's insane.
I'm not even going to try and say this name. We've got what looks like an authentication code, CI1986Y7V, saying, if no one goes with Tyler Warren, I will go with him. My pick is Tyler Warren for the TE, who has the most points by 2:05 p.m. Eastern. He also says if the sack bet is available, which it is, we will go for a no for tonight. We're going to close that sack bet. Let's call it 140. Obviously, if it happens before 140, you don't get to say yes. We've seen a couple people try to do that over the last little while, but we've seen a bunch. Ramondre Stevenson already with 10 plus points. Looks like there's quite a bit of movement here in the FDF. Let's take a quick look at what's been going on.
Sorry, real quick. 140 is 10 minutes from now for any of those Europeans, or about 8 minutes from now.
Drake
May, the Colts are in the end zone, or close to the end zone here. Red zone, 7 yards away. A first and goal.
What do we
got?
Don't
worry, boys.
First and goal.
Steelers Uno reverse card. Browns Browning. They get us 4th and 5. Taunting call. Automatic first down.
There you go,
boys. We take those.
There you go.
Jonathan Taylor takes that first down. Okay, quick look at the FDF scores. See what's going on through the first 30 minutes of the games. We've got the only quarterback really moving into position here is Drake May, just on the outside at 7.9 points. bunch of nothing else going on below that. You look at the running back position. We've seen Jonathan Taylor up in 6, but that's only with 5.8 points. Not a whole lot to go on there. Then you've got Travis Etienne, Bucky Irving, Rico Dowdle sitting below, filling out the 6 through 9 spots. At the tight end position, Tyler Warren still currently holding on to that number 1 spot. Trey McBride with 0 points. Hunter Henry with 2.3. We've seen 2 huge plays to New England tight ends, neither of which have been Hunter Henry. And in the wide receiver spot, we've got Jamar Chase into 3rd place at 12.9. We said this about 20 minutes ago. He wasn't going to score any more points for the remainder of the hour. That's looking true through 20 minutes. Nico Collins played yesterday, and Stephon Diggs is the next highest rated wide receiver at 8th with 6.2 points.
Ollie, what are you looking at today, bud? You got any bets that are particularly interesting?
There's a couple of sleeper teams that I think, and I'm actually looking at the Kalshi lines right now, but the Seattle Carolina game, I actually think Carolina has a chance in this game. And I also think Miami has a chance against Tampa Bay. And I think both of those are, 20, they're sitting around 20-ish%. So those are 2 teams.
Talk to me about
Miami's been good. Miami's been good, man. Like, their defense has played a lot better, and they're playing all their players outside of Tua. I also think again, these quarterbacks, last games of the season, they needed a reason to have a team interested in them, whether it's Miami or somewhere else.
Yeah, Quinn Ewers, rookie QB. Look, he has been, honestly, like you said, the biggest upgrade Miami's had all season long has been sitting Tua. Sam, I see you laughing, and if I had to make a bet, I think it's one of 2 things. It's either, 1, that my must-sit Jonathan Taylor walks into the end zone right now with a touchdown. 2, it's that Hayward from the Steelers, a man so large, I refuse to believe he's only 250 pounds, just ran down the sideline for 45 yards, beating players out. Ridiculous play.
That part. I mean, both are fantastic. Both are very smile worthy. But yeah, one of my favorite things, we have 2 Haywards, Cam Hayward and the lesser Hayward, as we call him. Cam Hayward is an iconic defensive player. The lesser Hayward is an 8-year fullback that we put in like once a game to do something that usually is dirty work. And he lines up to do a tush push from the quarterback position. He takes the ball and he actually runs a sweep from the tush push position, gets the edge as a 250-pound fullback and runs the ball for 40 yards. That's something I will watch.
He has to be so much closer to 300 pounds. Like, if you're looking at some of the other guys in the league who say they're 250 pounds, they look tiny compared to him. Tyler Warren is 265 pounds, and he's half the size of Hayward. you know what I mean?
If you really want to go big guys, Washington on the Steelers is also quite a large human being.
Freak, dude. That guy's huge.
Looks like the Bengals got in, but it was not Chase Brown. It was a backup running back. So again,
brutal.
Brutal.
Pirine, brutal.
We're also seeing some people saying they're dumping McBride. You can't. I mean, God, the dude's been a machine. He's allowed to have a bad first quarter, boys.
Dumping McBride would be crazy right now, guys. I think McBride ends the week number 1 overall.
Snaky saying Jonathan Taylor being on sale all week is nuts considering how many TP he'll get. Totally agree. He's going to be a great offseason hold on top of having probably another good game today, judging by how often they've been in the red zone already.
Maybe we touch on that really quickly. So just to kind of expand on what Snake just mentioned, offseason TP works as proportional value based off of how much TP players have earned throughout the year. Jonathan Taylor obviously had a great start of the year, won 5 or 6 weeks to begin the season, is gonna, I think, end up receiving like almost 20% of total offseason TP rewards, and his price relative to other players on FDF is ridiculously low. Sam pointed out Jared Goff is also somebody who fits that mold, somebody who's been eliminated from the playoffs. You're not going to see him playing for a whole lot over the next couple of weeks, but I think is earning 10.5 or maybe 11% of total offseason TP. For a cost that is like, 1/4 of the top quarterbacks in the league right now, feels like a good buying opportunity if you're somebody who wants to play for those offseason TP rewards.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor seems like a great pick for that. You were just talking about the emotional component of these sports betting swings on Kalshi. Same thing happens with these players.
Yep.
People are not considering those off-season rewards, so they have a couple of bad games, but they might have a share that's egregiously large of the total off-season TP that's going to be distributed. And so, if you plan on playing for that, I think there's a great opportunity to be able to sweep that up. Obi-Wan also saying Rico Dowdle, another good postseason play. Steelers losing 8 yards from the red zone. You don't love to see that. Hopefully the boys can at least walk away with some points.
We've got a couple of really fun plays I want to show, but the first is this Stephon Diggs, just absolutely mossing a defender here. Take this ball downfield. That's one of 5 catches he needs on the day to make $500,000. Stephon Diggs on the board for a 35-yard gain. This is the play right before Brady Cook picked off by the Patriots. That literally the very next throw basically takes it back to where Brady Cook makes that throw from. And then here's that OPI on MVS earlier that Sam was all upset about.
Dude.
Disgusting. I actually have not seen this.
Just a slight.
I guess they're calling it setting a pick. I don't know. That feels like just a crossing route.
Can we talk about the officiating over the last like 20? The officiating in the Texans Chargers game yesterday was just abysmal.
Oh, dude,
like
the roughing
the worst
the passer plays,
the roughing the passer. I mean, you can go down the list of the play at the end. The
one that sealed it.
Was it defensive? Yeah, the one that sealed it was ridiculous in my opinion. Like the offensive player pushes off and then gets tripped up, and somehow it's I don't know. Just a lot of really bad officiating in both games, actually.
I wish
not just that one.
That I could be consistently bad at my job and consistently have my employer go to bat to defend me from everybody else who calls me out as bad at my job. Because there has been, dude, we have cameras. We have got camera angles of literally everything. There are 400 cameras on every single play in NFL history. The fact that you can miss it on the field, then watch the replay, and then miss it on the fucking replay when you have 400 angles showing you that the thing that you're saying happened clearly did not happen is absurd to me. This idea.
It's also crazy they don't go to the they don't go to the replays in some of these instances. It's just like you have it right there. Just use it. I'm not even asking for a challenge. Like just everybody else is watching this game, and like the game yesterday, it ruins the last 2 minutes. Like everybody's looking forward to a 4th down and the punt, and then the Chargers getting a chance to come back, and you effectively kill the momentum of that game.
And this is also a time where I can't remember a single time except for whenever that NBA official came out, wrote a book about how they were definitely sports gambling on games they were officiating. Since then, I have not remembered a time where so many people and so many clips have gone around claiming people are sports betting and fudging numbers and, pushing overs or allowing things to happen in order to pump their own bags, or even the bags of the NFL. They'll literally, people think the entire NFL as a market is basically betting against these games themselves, which would be the most insane thing. Like definitely not true to that extent, I would imagine. But the fact that they're still letting this happen and dictate the outcome of games and dictate bad beats and stuff like that is pretty wild. Like you would think they would be like, hey, we got to do anything we can to
not have this, like, especially with the sponsorships and everything else involved. It's just like, don't do that. The thing yesterday that was actually pretty crazy to me, it's like the same thing applies with like player lines and stuff like that. Josh Jacobs was minus 2,000 to hit 25 rushing yards yesterday.
Wow.
And he couldn't hit more than, he had 3 rushes in the entire game.
Yeah.
Josh Jacobs, a starter, had 10 plus touchdowns this season. Like it makes no sense. And that's like, to your point, I don't know what the team is doing. I don't know about these like questionable, doubtful, like, is he supposed to play? Is he not? The whole thing is, it's bad. It's a bad look.
You
and
saw
to your
that
point,
with Lamar
Sam,
Jackson, right? Earlier this year, like the doubtful, not doubtful, missed the playoff. We saw, first of all, looks like Trey McBride, huge play there to bring him. Did they count that as a touchdown?
Michael Wilson touchdown.
Michael Wilson,
Wilson. Real quick, will you pull up the Kalshi odds? The Steelers just scored a field goal. I'm curious what that does to the Kalshi odds, since we were asking that earlier. Somebody in the comments, Steve says Bengals D is playing 2-hand touch, which is amazing. And then Oliver, actually, I want to ask the chat, do you guys think that NFL games are rigged to any extent? Do you think that refs are calling certain plays to make sure that they hit the over, hit the under, or certain players and rushing yards, whatever? Do you think, yes or no, that it's rigged? And bonus points if you tell me to what extent. 15% of all games have some sort of rigging in them, or 100%, or 1%. I'm curious what the general consensus is. Drake May apparently got a touchdown pass to Ramondre Stevenson. That field goal really didn't do much
Not
at all,
much.
did
It basically kept it the same line. Dub saying Oliver just Matty lost some wild parlay, which to be fair, I have seen. But I'll say this. Listen,
I'm not even no, that's not the reason at all. Actually, I was just seeing it online, and it was just this discourse.
I would say this.
I've never seen a minus 2,000 odds.
Yeah.
Not like outside of LeBron scoring 10 plus points like a few weeks ago.
Dude,
I've never seen those
even,
sort of
even
things.
in the case that Sam mentioned, right? The NBA piece, right? Like that ref, not only did he write a book about how match fixing was happening, but one of the guys that was, implicated in that thing basically was allowed to continue reffing in the NBA because he sold out everybody else who was fixing matches. I think in that situation, sure. For me, I'm not somebody who believes that the NFL is rigged. I am somebody who believes that there are a wild number of highly, highly, highly incompetent egomaniacs making officiating decisions, and people who are unwilling to call the right play because it would have to mean that they have to admit that they're wrong. The other problem is NFL refs are part-time, right? They're only contracted during the season, so they're not contracted in the offseason. Make them full-time, make them run through courses, set up some officiating leagues, make sure that these things are called correctly. It's like the MLB. The fact that like the batter's box and the strike zone changes depending on who's umping the game is absurd.
Yeah.
We have robots that know whether or not this ball was in the strike zone. Why are we going off the backs of some egomaniac?
I think it's pretty unrealistic that you're asking a league that only makes $10 billion a year to have full-time employees all year.
Steve
That's
Adler
egregious.
saying, I wouldn't say it's rigged, but it wouldn't surprise me if a couple of refs have action and many players have action. That I agree with. I think that there are a wide number of players, especially your second and third and fourth string guys who are probably slamming some action down.
I think it's probably there's probably a small percentage that have some level of understanding of what's going on, and I wouldn't say it's necessarily like, well, obviously they haven't been caught and that's not happening, so one would think they're doing a pretty good job of being discreet about it. But I would actually say the larger piece of this, to Knox's point, is what even Puka Nacua, I think on a stream with like Aiden Ross had mentioned. You see the refs do, like they did these in the Rams game like 2 weeks ago against the Seahawks. I think you saw the refs like doing these crazy hand signs for calling a flag, and you could just tell that they're like looking for power in these situations or want to be. They're making the game about themselves versus making the game about what the game should be about. And that to me is like a very big issue. Like you should not have officiating where it's controlling or deciding outcomes of games. And I think you see it way too often in the NFL where they just want to throw a flag or want to make a call. And regardless of whether someone thinks it's right or wrong, they're not going to waver and they're going to sit with that. And it's just not okay.
Hey, dude, I've been watching football
that's
for 20 years, Oliver, and I still don't know what a catch is. All right.
Yeah. I mean, that's tough, right? Like, I don't know what is and isn't either. Like, I get there's certain calls out there that are like, oh, within inches, you can't really tell. Is the knee down? Is the knee not? Is the ball across the line? Is it not? Like, to your point, there is tech, there is things like that, but there are certain calls that are like, very, very close. Yeah. I'm talking about the ones that just, you're sitting there and you're like, I don't know what
are you looking at?
Detroit had. Yeah, it's like, what is going on here? Detroit had like a man eligible, like goes over to the referee, says that he's going to be eligible, goes into the game, and then they throw the flag saying the man's ineligible downfield. And you're sitting there like, this just happened. I watched all this happen, and somehow there's still a flag. I don't get it. Those are the ones that just like, as a team, I can't.
You don't believe what your eyes see. Believe what we tell you.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm seeing the boys in chat saying that Waddle looks like he's walking into the locker room with an injury. Some of them exiting their Waddle shares. Waddle has placed a couple times this year. He should get some TP in the offseason. However, maybe not that much. The Steelers get a sack on Shedeur Sanders, but Shedeur honestly looks like fucking John Elway out there right now. I've never seen a quarterback this bad play this well in the rain, but for some reason it's happening in this game. However, they get a false start. Looks like it's going to be a long third down. He's gotten a couple of 30-yard passes on this drive, which is just breaking my heart, boys.
ETN and Jacksonville in the red zone right now. Yeah, and Jacksonville down against the Colts, and also Tennessee just scored a touchdown. So
Pretty
there's that.
insane. Such as a big touchdown from Tennessee.
43-yard pass.
On 4th and 2. That's disgusting. Wow. That tackle that he broke? Holy
We're going to have
crap.
to pull that up. That was super strange. Who is that?
That was disgusting.
Cheddar Okonkwo.
Cheddar Okonkwo?
Fun thing about Cheddar Okonkwo, this guy maxed Iron Man RuneScape account. So everybody gives me shit for talking about RuneScape, but Okonkwo's got a maxed RuneScape, old school RuneScape Iron Man, all right?
Wow.
Imagine having millions of dollars and you can do literally anything you want with your time and you play fucking
Imagine
RuneScape.
being so good at football that you're in the NFL while also having logged bare minimum 12,000 hours in an old school RuneScape account.
That's so awesome, dude. Oh man. So I did take the Saints at the beginning of this game. I should be scared, but the Saints have always been a second half team, man. They've always brought it back in the third quarter. They've always played hard in the fourth. I think there's a good chance that they bring this back. The Browns going for it on 4th and 7. Please, Lord, baby Jesus, tell me that the Steelers are able to bear down on this one. Come on.
The Jets, look, I think you're going to see a situation here pretty soon where the Steelers or the Patriots are putting away their starters. It's 21-0 going into the second quarter here.
I hope to God that he has Mike Vrabel has the Bill Belichick attitude of letting the boys cook. Put up 60 on a.
I would love to see it. I would love to see it. Also, I saw a tweet yesterday that was so good. You guys have to indulge me here for a second. Can you believe the Titans had Malik Willis, Derrick Henry, AJ Brown, and Mike Vrabel, and they got rid of all of them in like one season? That's pretty crazy. 2 seasons. Damn. That's crazy. The Titans are like Hall of Fame level if they keep all those guys, potentially.
The best part is they move AJ Brown for what the fuck was his name? They drafted him the very next year in the first. Exactly.
Oh, Traylon Burks, right?
Yeah, Traylon Burks. The fact that 3 of us here who's sitting here talking about football for 5 hours could not even think of the guy's name.
That's bad.
Point. Not a good sign. Yeah, they could have had this sort of like Panthers arc, you know? That's definitely a 10-win playoff team, and instead they're going to be bad for at least another couple of years.
T-Law wow, great
T-Law
play.
with the Russian tie.
Dang.
You know what Cam Ward needs? We've talked about it all year. Cam Ward needs some help on the offense side of the ball. You know what he would have loved right now? AJ Brown and Derrick Henry would have been fucking great.
Yeah, it would have been pretty good. It would have been pretty darn good. They're looking better though. I'll say the Titans look pretty good.
I think Cam Ward's a dog. I think people are giving him a lot of shit this year because he's looked terrible, and I think rightfully so. But that guy's fighting for his life on every single play, every down. I think if you give that guy an offensive line, you give him a coordinator that is not completely inept, and you give him anybody who can catch the ball, I think he's looking great. I don't know what just happened in this Jets-Pats game. I'm going to see if the clip can be pulled up.
The Jets have the ball in the red zone.
This O-line of the Jets just completely decided, let's not block one defensive lineman from the Patriots. And then here we go.
I mean,
big play.
Jeez. Cardinals scored. Michael Wilson. That's a while ago. Titans up 13-0. Bucks trailing the Dolphins now, 10-7. It's quite interesting.
Tennessee up 13-0. Crazy to see. Indianapolis still above the Jags. Cincinnati still above the Cardinals. Seattle, Carolina 3-0 going into the second quarter.
I think Carolina's. I think so. I have a 5-leg parlay. Just transparently here. I have a 5-leg parlay with Carolina, the Colts, Miami Dolphins, and your Tennessee Titans. That's my parlay that I have out right now.
Would you just slam all the dogs?
Yeah, I mean, well, they're 4-dog. 4-leg parlay. Sorry, 4-leg parlay. But I think Tennessee's played better. Again, like I said, Dolphins, Colts. I had a feeling this was kind of that tough spot for Jacksonville. I mean, all these teams could lose. Like, let's be real. But it's looking pretty good right now. Carolina, 1st and 10 on the Carolina 43 right now.
Yeah, Carolina
down 3-0.
Cooking. Steve Adler says the one bet he has today, Jags defensive touchdown. That one actually not bad.
I like that. I like that. Phil Rivers, pick 6. I don't mind that.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
Steelers
thrown 2 in the
ball
last 2
back.
games, so
Yeah.
feels like a good bet. Sam, we're gonna show this trick play in a second here. I just wanted to watch it before, and I'm not really sure I'm understanding what I'm looking at here. So we're gonna pull this up.
It is something that I'm sure Brian Armstrong is, or sorry, that's the Coinbase CEO. The Bears coach, I'm sure, is going to be taking any minute.
Watch this.
I don't know what the fuck this pass is.
So I guess he's rolling through with the kicking motion as to not give the indication that he's got his hand cocked. But look at this throw. This guy throws an underhand spiral for like 40 yards.
Yeah, I think what he's trying to do is make it look like a punt to the
Yeah,
DB,
that's what I'm thinking.
so the DBs don't try to grab it. And so
It's such a smart play, though.
yeah, you're not trying to make it. It's not about the throwing motion. It's about the fact that in the air it wobbles.
It
like
still
a punt
looks
would
like a
wobble.
punt,
They
yeah.
see it in the air and they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna let it bounce."
Well,
And the
dude, look at the
catches it.
return guy. The return guy is completely frozen here. Watch this. I think he's, yeah, right here as he catches it. This guy's just standing still.
Yeah, it's
like, let it go.
crazy. Isn't that interesting? I was like, man, what a sort of genius play.
I don't think I've ever seen a ball even thrown like that.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what we've missed over the last 10 minutes or so.
Let's see here.
This is the T-Law scramble. This was sick.
I'm devastated ETN didn't get into the end zone there.
Yeah.
That's pretty rough.
Cleveland Brown goes for it on 4th and 7 from the 34-yard line. Turnover on downs. These guys can't get out of their own way, man.
Professional gambler asking, says McBride isn't looking good. Only 10 minutes left, right? Yep. In the tight ends.
No, we're good. We're good. McBride is gonna. You guys need to calm down on McBride. Do you guys understand the Cardinals' garbage time? I don't know how many times this guy Trey McBride it gets like 100 receiving yards in like the last 6 to 8 minutes of the fourth quarter.
Watch
but
this.
I swear
This is that
this
Chico
guy is
Concord
just
touchdown.
built for that. Yeah, this is a great touchdown right here.
Yeah, this was sick. So 4th and 2, gets the ball out. Watch him break this tackle.
This
My
is
God.
nuts. Puts a hand in the dirt.
That's like that Malik Willis run yesterday where he
Yeah.
barreled over like 2 guys. That was one of the most
And
impressive.
then here's
runs
that
I've seen
Ramondre
this season.
Stevenson touchdown pass that people were calling
Ugh.
out. Honestly, Stevenson and Henderson, Trevion Henderson have to be the two most. It's got to be the most aggravating backfield in the NFL right now from like a fantasy perspective. Both of these guys are talented. Trevion Henderson is really bad at pass blocking, so you don't see him in on as many passing downs, but he's a great pass catching back. So it's this really weird, who do we have in? It actually looks like they're both in on that play, but
Good
this
little
is not
decoy.
Michael Wilson. I thought this was Trey McBride getting people excited. It's not. It's Michael Wilson. Great touchdown, though. Tightrope.
Terrible tackling.
Yeah.
Just
brutal tackling.
absolutely horrible.
That guy
Like, I
comes
don't
in-
know how that guy gets in the
Look,
end
look
zone.
at this. He comes in with no arms up at all.
What is
down.
these three defenders and he's 10 yards outside the end? What is he doing?
This
What
is
is
the play
he-
that somebody said they're playing two-hand touch out there.
yeah.
Yeah, that's. I
Bengals-
mean that is what makes you wonder every once in a while. Like, what is those 3 Bengals players? Let's figure out what the heck
this
is
is
going
what led
on
to
there.
that early Colts touchdown. Look at this.
Jacoby Myers.
It's like some weird lateral
That was
thing that they
weird.
were trying to
Yeah.
attempt. Super
I
strange.
think it's that what do they call it? The hook and ladder or
Yeah.
something, where you kind of go out, you pretend it's sort of like a screen little whatever, and then somebody comes behind you and you just like run off the edge like it's a sweep and you're able to get 20 or 30 yards on it. But yeah, anytime you're letting go of the ball backwards, there's a significant amount of risk you're taking on. Probably wouldn't do that on my own 20-yard line again anytime soon.
Warren,
Saints pushing right now. They're right outside the red zone now. Tennessee
it looks
34.
like Tyler Warren, jumped off sides, blocking or slowing down the Colts offensive drive here. But 8 minutes, Tyler Warren currently in first place. There's exactly one guy who said Tyler Warren would lead tight ends at 2:05 p.m. and he only said it because nobody else did. Hilarious to see.
7 minutes away.
Now that being said, he's only 4 points ahead. That's one catch, one big catch downfield. Drake May still outside the top 5. Looks like he'll break into it. You got to imagine that he probably cracks into that top 3. The issue that you run with Drake May now is they are up 21-3. 1 or 2 more scores. You might see Drake May on the bench for the rest of the day.
I don't think they're sitting Drake until they have at least 35 points. That's my
that's fair.
gut instinct. Stephon Diggs with another 21-yard reception. Yeah. If he can get in the end zone, he's going to be one of the biggest wide receivers of the week for sure. He's also fast approaching that $250,000 bonus for 4 catches. He might already have it, to be honest. I'm not sure how many receptions he has on the day.
He's in 5th place.
Yeah. Carolina stopped at the Seattle 40, so probably I would guess punting. Maybe they kick to tie this game up. And then the Dolphins are on the Tampa Bay 30, 1st and 10. So Dolphins pushing. Achane could have a big day here if he decides to get in the end zone too.
Man, the bet that I have on the board that's looking by far the worst, honestly, Seattle and Carolina over. It's a 3-0 game right now, and both offenses look dreadful. I'd rather have the Saints at 0-13, to be honest.
Carolina, I think, just got. Oh no, they turned the ball over.
Oof. Yikes! Yeah, 4th and 4 is just popping up on my screen now. It sounds
turnover on death. They went for it. Oh,
they went for it. Yep.
Dolphins in the red zone too.
It's tough to punt that one, man. I don't blame them.
Yeah.
At that point, though, what you do is you look like you're running a play. You take the delay of game. You back up 5 yards. You punt the ball away. I think going for it at half field is fucking crazy. Now that being said,
in a 3-0 game too. In a 3-0 game,
Ted should have had that ball. That was a great throw from Bryce Young.
Right on the paws.
Hit him in the hand. Looks like there's a flag.
Patriots back in the red zone. Dolphins in the red zone on the Tampa Bay 10.
Oh, they jump offside. Tragedy.
Steve Adler with a good point too. Henderson in the Patriots game could feast in the second half. Also likely that maybe they go with the backup there too, because you don't want your starting running back getting too many miles on him whenever you're going to be potentially the number 1 seed going into the playoffs. The Browns back with the ball yet again. So we're probably not going to see Myles Garrett get that sack record anytime soon. But Shedeur Sanders continuing to sling it.
You're going to like what just happened. You like what just happened, Sam?
Oh, no.
I will say, the better,
as you say,
the further ahead that the Browns get, the better the chances of that Myles Garrett sack record being broken today.
Yep.
True.
Right? You force the Steelers into more
in a passing situation. Yeah.
Steelers just got the ball. So.
Baby. Talk dirty to me, Ollie.
Yep.
Hunter Henry. Nope. They're going to show a slow-mo of him, and then it's going to be Drake May who runs.
Hunter Henry
gets baited.
Cursed, bro. I want to see how this Steelers and Patriots drives ends up, and then maybe we'll take a quick break, come back for the end of half.
That Steelers pick is looking pretty good right now, Sam, actually, right after this, man. Boy.
There's just no world in which the Browns go up more than 10 in this game.
Yeah.
There's a chance they win, but there's not a chance that they go up like 21-0. You know, that would just be insane.
Fair. Yeah.
Ramondre gets stuffed in the back.
I think Pittsburgh may end up scoring on this drive. You never know.
Jazz, who hasn't checked in yet in the game, says, you guys are right so far about Chase not moving on the scoreboard. Knock cursed another one.
I said it right out of the gate, dude. Look at this. I said, look, Jamar Chase opens the day, 12.9 points. He's not going to move for an hour. In 9 minutes, it will have been exactly an hour, and he has not moved.
4th and 3, the Patriots go for it, and Drake May scrambles to the left side for 15 yards. That's disgusting.
No,
they were in field goal range, too. They're just playing with their food.
Looks like Shedeur Sanders is about to Shedeur Sanders it up here.
He did. He sure did.
He threw the ball off of an offensive lineman's head.
Alex Highsmith hits him as he throws it. You love to see it. Easiest pick of this DB's life. Oh, yeah, and it does hit somebody in the head. Obi-Wan, do not talk about Chase McBride or Achane, Sam Knock Oliver. I need these guys to not get the amplified jinx.
Dude, look at Dion wearing the most ridiculous chain.
I mean, if there's a chance for Achane to score a touchdown, it's right now.
And Achane broke both of his legs.
Yeah, that's. I actually thought you were serious there for a second. That's like, yeah, that sounds about right. You know.
You have to break both your legs on one play. I mean, we did see Carson Wentz sprain both ankles, but
Let's see here. What does Pittsburgh do here? 4th and 1 on the Cleveland 22.
You gotta go for that, dude. You got to.
I think they're gonna kick this, man. I
Oh.
think I have a weird feeling that the Steelers are just like risk. They don't. Maybe Rodgers is like, yeah, give it to me. Let me just.
I don't think
keep
that
it secret.
Tomlin plays to not lose. I think.
Yeah,
is the
exactly.
plan.
Yeah.
Dude, Drake May's stat line right now, 10 for 10, 150 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's disgusting.
I know people who are still convinced that
disgusting.
Josh Allen is number 2 in the MVP race, and it's like when you're seeing Drake May play like this, come on. He's not even. Josh Allen isn't even the best quarterback in his own conference, his own division this year.
Yeah, seriously. Oh,
A-Chain gets
A-Chain
tied
almost
up.
able to sneak in. Flag though.
Henderson gets stuffed. Holy shit.
With a chance to vulture a touchdown, he loses 3 yards. My God. Myles Garrett inches away from the sack record, but Aaron Rodgers was able to get it out.
Let's see here. Pittsburgh timeout. 4th and 1 on the Cleveland 22.
Man, the red zone stream we're watching literally has not shown Pittsburgh since the turnover.
That's brutal. I'm surprised. The Patriots scored again, so you know that's done.
4th and goal. They go for it again. These guys have no respect for the Jets, nor should they.
I love Vrabel, man.
He's a great coach, dude.
Yeah.
Drake May now with 5 touchdowns. Who was that to?
Is that Stephon? No.
I don't think so.
Who was that?
Wait,
a couple people saying Diggs.
Oh, it is Diggs.
No shit.
Nice. Diggs touchdown.
Wow.
Huge. Dolphins also just scored.
Oh, the play that got the Steelers to 4th and 1 is an Aaron Rodgers scramble for 6.9 yards when he slides, and they stop him right before the first down. You got to take that one to the chin, old man. Dive head first, brother.
Take a quick look at what just happened in the wide receiver spot. Stephon Diggs, before halftime, has now claimed the number 1 spot. I want to make a note. It is now 2:05. I'm going to click the tight end screen here. And I believe where 30 people have entered this competition, it's going to be one guy. I think his name was Loomer.
4th and 1, Steelers throw it all the way to the end zone.
Tyler Warren will win that competition. So if you were the guy who bet Tyler Warren, I'm going to need you to DM me on X just to make sure that I can log your name at ITSGNOC. Make sure you send me that DM. Make sure you said, I bet Warren. If you're lying to me, I will find out. I do cross-reference to chat logs. This just helps me start with a list.
Brother, we have got to stop fucking doing this. At 4th and inches, we throw a 25-yard back shoulder fade to Scotty Miller in the end zone.
Scotty too hotty, baby.
Overthrows him by a mile. That is disgusting work. That is a fireable offense. Jesus Christ. That is crazy. Yeah, Drake May, 20 points already. Absolute savage. This is what you want.
They bring the backup? I swear, it feels like May just needs to get sat down. Like, there's no reason to
play him. This game is out of control already.
They might leave him in just so that he can keep pumping his MVP numbers. And I don't hate that argument. You know, he's young. He can take all the experience he can get. The Jets have no pass rush anyway. Like, what are the odds that he takes a tough hit? But, when the Panthers get a turnover and then fumble the interception, bunch of bodies on top of the ball. This is exactly what I was talking about last week, where the only chance of the over not hitting is just a turnover fest where nobody's able to actually get the ball into the end zone. And that's exactly what we're seeing in the Seahawks-Panthers game. It's a game of hot potato right now.
Dolphins just scored, and I don't know. So Quinn Ewers passing touchdown to Dulcich, the tight end. So
Greg Dulcich.
Yep. 5 receptions for 58 yards and a touchdown already for Greg Dulcich. So
Jesus.
we are
Dude, I've been saying
this
this
is
for
week
years.
17 in the NFL, boys.
I've been saying this for years, and I'm so happy to have been proven right on both these guys. But I've been saying for so long, T-Law and Herbo are two of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. They've been absolutely brutalized by their coaching staffs over their first 4 or 5 years, respectively, in the league. You now see real coaches on both teams. Liam Cohen has been a revelation for the Jaguars. That team looks incredible.
Yeah, he's been good.
And you're looking at Harbaugh over there in LA. Both of these guys are just having career years. As I'm saying that, T-Law got sacked by 57 Colts players all at once. That was wild.
Carolina in the red zone.
Yeah, this looks like this is a scoop and score. Oh no.
I think down.
They're reviewing it to see if this is a incomplete pass, but it looks like it got knocked out of the hands. Yeah, it was. Oh, T-Law got rocked. Holy.
Yeah, it's a really interesting turnover that ended up in Carolina possession. See if Bryce Young can do anything with it. Oh my God.
Wow. It's a miracle he got that ball off.
Yeah, sometimes throwing it away is actually an incredible play. And that was
and this Bengals game is looking like it's getting over. The Bengals, Arizona 4th down, punted. Bengals just returned a 43-yard return down to the Arizona 30. They're already up 16-7. So if they can score before the half, it should be tough for Arizona to come back.
Yeah, somebody's asking me about the me saying it's a fireable offense on 4th down, throwing it to Scotty Miller. That's about Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin, one of the best coaches in the history of the NFL. However, it does feel like he's starting to sort of run out his welcome. There was a moment not too long ago where there was actually a fire Tomlin chant that happened in Pittsburgh during a game where we were 6-6 at the time. It felt like it was about to happen potentially, and now we've been on a 3-game winning streak. And so most likely not going to happen this year, most likely not going to happen any year soon, because the Steelers are sometimes notorious for holding on to coaches for an extremely long period of time. In the history of the Steelers, we have had a grand total of 3 coaches: Bill Cowher, Chuck Noll, and Mike Tomlin. So I don't.
It's actually ridiculous.
Isn't that one of the craziest?
It's insane.
I'm Googling it because I didn't believe it, and it is correct.
Can I just be honest though? The Steelers don't have a great roster. Like they have not had a great roster in like 5 to 7 years. Like I can't remember the last time I could name, like DK is great, don't get me wrong, but like outside of that, like name who Aaron Rodgers is throwing to on any given night. And the running backs, they're fine, but they're not like, oh, my camera went off. They're just not, yeah, they're it just went off completely. They're not Saquon, they're not,
What?
I just saw this too, Sam.
In the Saints game,
Mike.
What happened?
Oliver goes to the Elgato loading screen.
Yeah, no, I don't know what happened. My camera just shut off.
It's okay, Oliver. We're gonna head to break in a second here, anyway.
Yeah.
But
Cool.
Cam Ward, I don't know if this is a scoop and score. A huge man just ran this ball in.
he literally
oh my God,
pulls it out of his hands like he's Dikembe Mutombo.
Dude, and he's holding it one hand, just running.
That is insane.
Oh, it's Young.
That's
it's
one of
Chase
the
Young.
craziest sack fumbles I've ever seen.
He literally held him up to take the ball from his hand.
Wow.
That's
people
so
remembering Chase Young exists. That was crazy. We got to bring that one up on stream. Yeah, we'll go to break here, but let's pull that up as soon as the highlight hits the internet, because I want you guys to see.
This was maybe the best defensive play of the week.
That's crazy, bro. Holy.
Awesome. Oliver, we appreciate you coming on, man. It's always so much fun having you on. Thanks for joining us for the last hour or so.
Thanks, guys.
Guys, we're going to take a really quick 5-minute break.
Thanks,
I need to go
Oliver.
take some more meds because as you can
talk
hear,
to you
I'm starting
soon.
to cough
Guys,
it up.
good luck to the Steelers.
Thanks, bro.
All right,
Appreciate
take it easy, brother.
that.
See ya.
All right, guys, we will be back in 5. Catch you soon.
thinking we could go into
Oh.
DK Metcalf.
Yeah. So we are back. We're gonna go into DK Metcalf here in a second. We sort of teased this a little bit earlier in the show. Something that I'm really excited to talk a little bit about. There's two things that I want to bring up really quick. Number one, Obi-Wan asks, how underrated is Chase Brown? Yeah. Listen, I'm a Canadian. I'm biased as hell. I love him and Chuba Hubbard. I think Chase Brown is wildly underrated, and I think it's largely just because that team is shit that people are overlooking him. The drop-off between him and Joe Mixon was not that large. If anything, that offense probably got a little more explosive when he came into the field because he's a better pass catcher than Joe Mixon. So I think he's very underrated. Sesh 101 says, Gainwell and Jalen Warren is a top 5 RB backfield. I could not disagree more. I think that there are backfields with single running backs who alone, with no running back partner, would rank higher in the top 5 than Jalen Warren and Kenneth Gainwell.
Yo, chill.
Come on, tell me right now. I'll be honest with me. Are you taking Jalen Warren and Kenneth Gainwell over just CMC?
No.
Are you taking him over Bijan Robinson?
This year, maybe.
Okay, and then you have to add Tyler Algier, who also has
No.
a 10 touchdown season and a 100-yard rushing season, okay?
No.
You look at Buffalo, you know, maybe you say yes over James Cook because it's just James Cook and Ray Davis isn't that exciting. But I think that there's very easily a case for James Cook and Jonathan Taylor to also just be ahead of those guys on the list. I could not disagree more with that. Also, the Seahawks, Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet, what are we talking about? They're not even top 10.
Look, if you give Kenneth Gainwell 60 carries a game, though, which is what we probably should be doing at this point, then, you know, the rest of it gets tossed out, brother.
Dub says Seahawks can't keep the ball today. Looks like another interception or turnover there. Dub says DK Metcalf.
On the Steelers on the 27, Aaron Rodgers held the ball for at least 4 or 5 seconds in the pocket. Myles Garrett not able to get there, likely being double teamed. Also, Aaron Rodgers, that play was called dead, but at some point he just held his arms out and Myles Garrett ran at him like a freight truck, and I was horrified for his life. But luckily he heard the whistles, he pulled up, and
Garrett's had one too many issues with Steelers quarterbacks in the past. I think he's learned.
If this game ends in Myles Garrett ripping off Aaron Rodgers' helmet
beating
and hitting him with it. Oh, insane pickoff by the Colts linebacker, I want to say, in the back of the end zone. Disgusting work. Trevor Lawrence gonna be thinking about that one.
Dude, if we go 10-7 and miss the playoffs, which we will because we've been eliminated, yeah, I'm gonna cry.
Tough. 2nd and 15 for the Steelers now. Aaron Rodgers gets the ball out. You love to see it. Don't hold it for too long. Only 11 seconds left in this quarter. Oh, I didn't realize we had 0 timeouts. 6 seconds. Oh, looks like we're going to run it down to the 3.
Yeah.
Kick a field goal.
Love
Boswell, that. Automatic. The leg, as we call him.
I'm getting distracted by all of the things that are happening. I need to pull up this clip because we got to talk about DK Metcalf.
DK Metcalf finding a way to fumble $45 million whenever all he had to do was just not miss.
All right. So we're going to play this clip, and then I'm going to walk you through a little timeline of events here. We're going to go. That is not the right scene. There we go. So we are going to pull up a lot of tabs open, boys. Okay. I'm like, what is going on here? Okay. So this happens about a week ago. DK Metcalf and the Steelers are playing the Lions. This is what happens. We're going to let you watch this, and we're going to talk about it.
Hammers happen to catch it. DK Metcalf.
Oh, he's cute. He's signing an autograph.
Someone in the stands.
Oh
my gosh.
Different kind of autograph.
Not going to have great consequences for the Steelers.
The guy throws his hands up immediately.
He looks for the flag.
Okay.
You're not going to believe what happened.
Here's what's going to happen. Phil, you're going to love this because there's a lot of research to be done here. I think you're going to enjoy this. Here's a timeline of events. So DK basically is walking to the sideline. He gets baited by a fan who's holding a Steelers jersey over the railing. DK goes, okay, guy wants an autograph. I'm going to walk over there. Walks over there. Something happens. There's an interaction between the fan and DK. DK grabs the fan by his wig, hits him with an uppercut. Fan immediately throws his arms up. Everyone's looking around like, what the fuck just happened? So we wait a couple of days. DK then says, hey, the fan used some racially charged language. He said something about my mom. Some things were said. And, I acted a certain way, but I shouldn't have. The fan goes, no. I did not. I absolutely did not. A second angle comes out. No additional vote. There's no additional audio. So we don't hear anything, but from the second angle, it looks like the fan does what we saw. Leans over, shows the thing, pulls it back. DK throws the punch. Some deep diving goes on here. Tom Pelissaro tweets, DK Metcalf had a previous interaction with this fan in Seattle in which DK and the fan got into it, and he reports the fan to Seattle security, getting the fan kicked out of the game. So obviously, this guy and DK have a little bit of a background. The rumor is the guy called him DeKalen, and DK didn't like that, DeKalen being his real name. Guy follows DK to Detroit, does the same thing. Well, what happens in the aftermath of all this? DK gets suspended for 2 weeks, which is the rest of the regular season, right? Obviously, this could hurt the Steelers as they're playing the Browns today. They need a win. They need to hold off the Ravens. He might screw his team out of a playoff spot, but he definitely screwed himself out of $45 million in guaranteed money. Because of that interaction, because of that suspension, that money and that guarantee gets voided, which means it doesn't mean that DK loses the money, but it does mean that the Steelers can now cut him for free for absolutely no cost after the 2026 season. So if he has a bad year, he's going to miss out on $25 million. In a world in which all you need to do to make $45 million is not punch a fan, it feels like it's a very low bar. But here's my favorite part about all of this, Sam and Phil. As you're looking through this, I need you to find the video of this. The fan hires this law firm. I think it was called Head Murphy Law. They are known for this sort of thing. And he holds a press conference, which he's wearing a suit. He's got his hat on backwards. And he goes, listen, I didn't call DeKalen anything racially charged. I guess DeKalen didn't like the fact that I called him DeKalen. And, I was just there enjoying the game and wanted to say hi to DeKalen. And he calls him by his name 3 or 4 more times. And if the story is true, Sam, if all of this was because he called him DeKalen in Seattle, it gets him thrown out of the Seahawks arena, then he calls him DeKalen in Detroit, to sit there to have a press conference with your legal team and call him DeKalen 3 more times is the all-time greatest fucking troll job ever. And it makes me so happy that this happened because the Steelers have had a history of the dumbest wide receivers that have ever existed. You got Chase, what was his name? Mapletron doing the dumbest shit. You got AJ Brown, or AJ Brown, Antonio Brown coming in on a hot air balloon, freezing his own feet in the cryo chamber, then going on to retire at halftime with the Bucks. You've got George Pickens crashing out. You've got the guy who went to the Panthers, but I can't remember his name. He was playing with Pickens.
Wallace, baby.
You had Mike Wallace. You had a guy who shot himself in. I can't even remember what his name was.
This one escapes me.
Dude,
oh no.
The history of just Steelers wide receivers crashing out is just so long and so ridiculous. Plaxico Burress shot himself. It's like, listen, we were talking about Mike Tomlin and the type of coach that he is. If there's one thing that he does really well, it's that he inevitably keeps all of these lunatics under wraps, at least for some extended period of time. But the DK story, one of the funniest stories that has happened in sports. I hope it comes out that the fan did not say something racist and just said his name, because to do that twice in 2 different stadiums and get DK in trouble both times is the fucking funniest thing in the world to me.
Can we talk about what this guy must do for a living, that he got front row tickets behind the bench at an NFL game? I mean, this has to be a $5,000 ticket just so that he can call DeKalen twice in 2 different arenas where he's rooting for different teams.
Yeah, dude, true. Yeah, it's true. I didn't even think about that.
Dude's just a professional troll. Of course, he does the press conference and calls him DeKalen 3 more times. This is what he's been waiting for, man. Overnight infamy. Holy.
I love it. Fuck, that's so funny. It makes me laugh every time I think about it. Okay, really quick, before we dive into some of this other stuff, as these games are going to half, I want to tackle a really quick update on what's been going on. We got some conversations going on in the chat here, Steve Adler saying, I'd be surprised if Drake May plays more than a single drive in the second half. I'm inclined to agree with that take there. Sounds like Jamar Chase may have scored another touchdown. Hunter Henry may have scored a touchdown. Let's take a quick look at where we're at halftime, as basically every game except for Seattle and Carolina is now at half. That game, Seattle, Carolina, now the 2-minute warning. For the quarterback position, Drake May in second probably will not pass Malik Willis, barring a really early touchdown into that second quarter. You look at the rest of the QB field, Baker Mayfield is next up in seventh. I believe he's actually the only other quarterback playing that is active on FDF. In the RB position, Jonathan Taylor holding on to that fourth spot, Chase Brown climbing into fifth. Those two fighting for it. Devon A-Chain just behind at 10.3 points, and then ETN sitting at 6.3. Nothing out of Bucky Irving or Kenneth Walker over the last 45 minutes or so. At the tight end position, Hunter Henry has now leapfrogged into second position. 10.6 points. That'll come off the backs of that touchdown. Trey McBride in seventh. Tyler Warren in fifth, rounding out that top five. Look at the wide receiver position. Two guys who started the 1 o'clock slot now in first and second. Stephon Diggs, 25.1 points with that touchdown and a number of catches. Jamar Chase now with 2 touchdown passes. Hilarious to see all of his points have come off just those 2 touchdown catches. Chris Olave, sorry, Obi-Wan, in 10th, not looking too hot. BTJ sitting there in 11th. And then JSN is the only other active player close to the top 5 in 7th place.
Steve Adler, who might as well be the third host of Amplified with how much he provides us with each week. Love you, dude. Says Stephon Diggs broke 100 yards, which is part of why he's having such a great game. Hunter Henry finally got in the end zone. Drake May must have, 4 or 5 touchdowns at this point. Absolutely dominant so far in this game, and it isn't even halftime. I said previously that I think they need to score 35 points in order for him to actually sit. They're currently at 35 points. So it does look likely that he's probably going to sit the second half. I hope not, for the love of God, please. Because I'm only 7 points away from that over-under already being hit. But there is a world in which literally all it is a punt fest in the second half. So it's nervous. Actually, maybe that's a bet I should exit, to be honest. Like, it's so close and there's so much time left, but I do see a world in which it really doesn't get hit. But garbage time is a thing. Steve says, I'll do a segment for you boys next week. I appreciate that, man. But I just want to do a victory lap because my 3 of my must starts, Drake May, Stephon Diggs, Hunter Henry, all absolutely cooking the first
I'll
half.
do whatever the opposite of a victory lap is, because my must sit in third place in the running back position, Jonathan Taylor. So don't listen to me, evidently.
Appreciate that, but congratulations on the Colts actually being very competitive in this game. That's got to feel good.
Yeah, you know what? Phillip Rivers, old man. We were talking about this earlier. He just dissects defenses in a way that you don't see. Okay, really quick, let's take a look at these lines. New England, New York. I think it's pretty safe to say we're just going to remove that one altogether from the lines overview because that game is done. 99 to 1%. We're going to bring up that Colts Jags game. Jags actually have this is crazy. Look at this. The Jags are 60-40 favored to win. Down 3 points. Colts will get the ball after half. Pretty insane to see that happening. You look at Arizona and Cincinnati, 95 to 5%. Cincy taking the lead there. I called that might be a trap game. It looks like once again, I'm 0 for 2 on the day on predictions. Saints Titans. I thought for sure this was a New Orleans Saints game. Looks like I'm 0-3. They're getting, down 2 scores to the Tennessee Titans at halftime, which is honestly pretty crazy. Cam Ward starting to play a little bit better. That probably means you're going to see a lot of Olave. Obi-Wan, if you're still here, your boy would be the way for the Saints to get back into this game, given the fact that Alvin Kamara is sitting out. Austin Estienne is sitting in for him on FDF. Pittsburgh and Cleveland, you might as well flip a coin this game, and the odds behind it change every 10 seconds. Look at this graph. This is crazy. Really quick, we'll hide that. We'll show Panthers and the Seahawks game. This game has not updated. Oh, there we go. Okay. Basically a flat line all the way across for the day. And then you look at the top left, you're going to see Bucks and Finns. This game has had basically just a straight inversion. And there we go. I was gonna say that was the craziest
Crazy.
chart I've ever seen in my entire life, but that's not accurate. And now you've seen Miami take a 10-point lead over Tampa Bay. Pretty insane.
Yeah, at the beginning of the show, you were talking about how you just don't trust the Bengals at all to be betting on them, and I totally agree. I also have had the same PTSD this season with the Bucks, man. I felt like this team was on fire. Baker Mayfield MVP candidate. They played teams really close. They always had a chance in the fourth quarter, even after some of the injuries. And then the second half of the season, that is just none of those things have been true anymore. None of them. And
Yeah.
so that team is dead to me as far as something as far as a place that I look to potentially get an edge in any of these bets. I'm not a big fan of it. Steve says, "Be right back. Hold down the chat, boys." We also have Obi saying he thinks Olave is going to turn this game around. Dub says he really needs the Seahawks to lose here to clear the playoff path for the Niners. Dub, a big Niners fan, excited to see if they're able to do that. Pittsburgh, man, what are we doing, dude?
I gotta show you something that's gonna make you laugh, Sam. So we're sitting here, we're talking about it. Look at this top post right here on the NFL subreddit. I'm tired of the refs. Shortly after that conversation with Oliver about how so many bad calls being made. Here's Cam Ward to Alec Ayomanor, another Canadian boy, rookie wide receiver who's actually had a great year so far as a rookie. Cam Ward, like I said, I think he's got all the makings of a great QB. Just doesn't have the team and staff around him right now at this point in time, but looks good. There's a play that Phil, thank you for bringing it up, Phil. We said at the beginning of the hour that we wanted to bring it up. I got to show this, Jermaine Pratt. Jermaine Pratt, by the way, former Bengals linebacker, left the Bengals. Part of the reason why the Bengals are so bad. We need to find this clip of Chase Young stealing the ball out of the hands of Cam Ward. Yeah, right here. Okay, look at this. This is absurd. This is the most little boy, give me that ball I've ever seen in my entire life. Watch this play.
Incredible.
And just
literally,
look at the way he's holding it, ball in the bread bats. Look at this.
He just stole it. It's like stealing a purse from an old lady in New York City.
Dude, the craziest thing here is like, look at these. The tackles. This guy gets beat on the spin move. This guy just gets beat straight up by bull rush. Both of these tackles lose. Cam Ward dodges the first end, backs up right into Chase Young, who literally takes this ball before Ward is even on the ground. I don't even know what just happened there, but takes the ball before Ward is even on the ground, runs this back. Chase Brown, of course, first overall draft pick, highly touted prospect coming out. I think the last guy like him that was as hyped as Chase Young was in college was probably Jadeveon Clowney. Do you remember him?
Yeah, dude. Clowney ended up going to the Titans, I believe, and having the Titans and then the Texans, I think, and just kind of got shuffled around after also having a stint on the Browns. That guy was such an interesting case because he really had one play in college where
was a great play though. Was a great play.
He pretty much ended a person's life on the field, and that was enough to make him be way overdrafted and way overhyped, and resulted in what could only be described as a mediocre career in comparison to his draft position. I think he was a solid player most of the time, but whenever you have hype of that degree, you basically have to be like Myles Garrett, TJ Watt level of successful in order for people to justify your draft position and the salary that you're making and stuff like that. So, I mean, reminder, you got to get a highlight reel if you want to get paid.
We saw finish the day on top. Yeah, I think we saw Gary in the FDF chat say Brissett's going to be throwing the ball a lot in the second half. Jacoby Brissett, of course, the quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals. His main target, Trey McBride. I still believe pretty strongly that McBride ends the day as tight end 1 on FDF. Now, I will say, I've been wrong on literally every other prediction that I've made today. So don't follow that. But I think Trey McBride ends the day number 1 overall.
I'm inclined to believe you, despite the fact that it necessarily isn't looking like that's going to be the case yet. He is a second half player. I'm really excited to see what happens in the rest of this Jags game too. The Jaguars have been kind of a slow team in a lot of the season as well. And Trevor Lawrence knows how to friggin' sling the ball. He's got the ball on offense right now. I like their chances from this position, 7-10. I haven't looked at Phillip Rivers' stat line a single time today. Do you know what it is? Is he doing
had
all
like
right?
150 yards last I looked. I'll pull it up right now.
Obi says McBride will score 2 TDs in the second half. I wouldn't be surprised, man. Steelers getting the ball at the half. Oh, and our return man just tripped and gave himself up. tough opener.
That Baker Mayfield stat line looking brutal in a do or die game. They are 16 for 21, 143, touchdown, interception. It's actually crazy that as the Buccaneers got healthier over the course of the year, they got worse. They opened the year like 5-1. They're now sitting at 7-8. They've gotten healthy. At least for the Indianapolis Colts, you know, you've seen the opposite happen, right? You lose Sauce Gardner, you lose Charvarius Ward, you lose DeForest Buckner for an extended period of time. You lose Daniel Jones, breaks his leg, then he tears his Achilles, then your backup quarterback tears his knee. You bring in the old man. It makes sense to see the slide on the side of the Indianapolis Colts. I don't understand the Bucs slide at all. They get Bucky Irving back, they get Mike Evans back, they get Chris Godwin back, and they just keep losing. And they keep losing badly to bad teams.
You know what I think was the most interesting version of exactly what you're talking about? I just sent you a link. I want you to open that link. I'm not gonna spoil it because it's one of the most incredible things that I've ever seen in my entire life. We talk about winning in spite of things, right? Talk about winning in spite of your offense. The Vikings beat the Lions in a game where the Lions are playing for their playoff life, and the Vikings had 3 net passing yards. 3.
You know what's crazy, Sam? What you're saying is the second craziest thing about what I'm looking at right now. This is the craziest freeze frame of all time. Look at this.
Just about to eat that ass.
Yeah, the most insane freeze frame. I will say the Vikings beating the Lions with 3 net passing yards is... I don't even have a word. It's like the fact that like this is a real stat. Justin Fields, truthers, if you're listening, I'm sorry. But Justin Fields had 4 different games this year where if he had thrown every single ball into the ground, he would have been a statistically better quarterback. This is wild. Like there are so many stats in football that like if I didn't see it, I wouldn't believe that it was real. I got to look into how this even is possible. This doesn't even make it. This doesn't even fucking make sense to me, dude. 3 yards. I could throw for 3 yards. You know, surely, you give me 27 attempts, I'm getting 1 completion of 3 yards.
Aaron Rodgers just got, I believe, sacked, but the ball came out of his hand after his elbow got hit, and he fumbled forward into a Steelers receiver's arms. It was awesome. Unfortunately,
oh, it was Garrett too with the pressure.
Yeah, very close to tripping him up. Steelers thought that there was going to be maybe a defensive pass interference. Wasn't the case.
There you go.
We're going to be
Phillip Rivers, 10 for 17, 80 yards, so not 150 yards.
I was going to say 150 would be him cooking yet again. But still, I mean, the fact
Still
that
leading.
3 weeks in a row, you've put a quarterback that has been out of the league for 4.5 years, looks overweight, has a really unnatural throwing motion for his entire career, and he has been able to put you guys in a position to win all 3 games, all of which are against the best teams in the entire league.
Seahawks, 49ers, the Jags.
And now the Jags, they all have 10 wins. That's crazy. That is crazy.
I will say,
if I read that on paper, if I said, Knock, you're going to sign Phillip Rivers and you're going to have a chance to win the next 3 games, you would have said, Sam, stop smoking crack. I'm setting you up for an intervention.
Dude, it's an indictment on modern NFL quarterbacks. It's an indictment on modern NFL systems. The fact that that old man who's been on the couch for 5 years, whose literal only touch of football the last half a decade is coaching a high school team, was able to come up there and dissect defenses that other quarterbacks in the league are struggling to dissect. Defenses that people said Philip Rivers won't be able to do what he used to do because defenses have gotten so much more advanced. They're so much more complex. They're better at disguising coverages. He walks up to the line of scrimmage. He calls everything out 57 times a game, and he slices and dices two of the best, well, now, three of the best defenses in the NFL. I think it's an indictment on modern quarterbacks, guys who cannot read defenses as well, don't have the authority to make changes at the line of scrimmage, don't even understand what it is that they're looking at from a defensive coverage perspective. It's a demonstration of the fact that that old era of QBs, the guys like Drew Brees, the Peyton Mannings, the Tom Bradys, the Phillip Rivers, the Ben Roethlisbergers, these were guys who understood what they're looking at from a conceptual level. Matt Stafford and Aaron Rodgers are probably the only two guys left in the league who understand it. And Stafford is probably the only one of those two guys that actually has any real ability or business playing quarterback in the year 2025.
There's something to be said too for the coaching and the way that offenses are just set up in general. Where we watched that great Kirk Cousins clip a couple of weeks ago where he talks about simplifying the offense. Sometimes teams try to basically, or offenses try to basically take away certain routes before you even snap the ball. And you're supposed to diagnose the defense before you even start the play and then decide that this route and this route are basically like not worth considering. So instead of reading all five of your wide receivers, you only read three of them. And that's supposed to simplify your ability to get the ball out of your hand because you only have to look three places instead of five. Makes sense on paper.
Yeah.
The problem is the defenses are sophisticated enough that they can disguise what it is. And so if you disqualify two receivers, it's possible that they shift into a different defense and you're actually disqualifying the receivers that you should be getting the ball to. And so Kirk was saying it's better if you just let me check all five wide receivers and then I don't have to guess what the defense is doing. And it puts you in a position to actually be more successful. And so I think that's part of what's happening here too. Like they must be running the simplest version of this offense possible because there's no way Philip has had enough time to actually be able to do all this crazy shit. Well, and maybe that's better.
You know what's crazy? So he actually, Harold Fenton Jr. out for the Browns. That's big news for the Steelers. He was the man who scored that touchdown earlier today. It's crazy that you say that. So one of the things that came out, one of the storylines that came out as Philip Rivers was talking about this return was the fact that for the last 5 years, he's been coaching the Colts' offense at St. Michael's Catholic High School. And he's been talking to Shane Steichen on a weekly basis about the offense. And the funny thing is, Shane Steichen and Philip Rivers have history together. They were together in San Diego. He was the quarterback's coach in San Diego. Obviously, Philip Rivers has history with the Colts. The last team he played for was the Indianapolis Colts in 2020. It's just, I'm a Colts fan. I watched this play out. Zach Charbonnet with a ridiculous run. Further evidence that no, Warren and Gainwell are not top five.
Taking strays here. I'm tired of taking strays.
The Seahawks have two running backs better than each of those guys. But yeah, it's a crazy storyline around Philip Rivers. The best case scenario, I think, for the NFL as well was that he leads this team to the playoffs. They get a playoff win. You get a fucking Netflix movie about this shit in 5-10 years. Truly just the most insane thing. We saw a guy reset his Hall of Fame eligibility clock so you could come back and play 4 games against 4 of the top 5 defenses in the NFL.
And he did it. And he did it well. And that fucking defense now just absolutely folded like a lawn chair.
He might actually die next week against the Texans because that's the craziest pass rush D that he's played so far. But we'll see how that plays out.
Do you think that they should just sit him at that point? Like, no chance at the playoffs anymore. Time to just like let him walk off into the sunset, knowing that he did everything he damn well could.
I think you play Anthony Richardson and you give him a game against, because I think out of respect for Philip Rivers, you don't play him against the Texans. We've seen the Texans, dude. The Texans got to Herbert 6 times last night. 6. Justin Herbert has 2 functioning legs, is 20 years younger than Philip Rivers, and is bigger than Philip Rivers, and he still took a beating. I think Rivers will die.
Yeah. You know, there was a great clip. I wish I grabbed it, but Brady said at 48, he thinks that he would absolutely cook these defenses. He was like, if I could just like go onto a Super Bowl contender, I think I would, and I think I would be able to win still. He's like, I just don't want to do everything it takes to be a part of an entire NFL season. Do you think that's true? Or is Tom Brady finally overestimating his own abilities at this point?
I think Tom Brady's physical traits will betray him. I think mentally he absolutely could. I mean, you look at his last 2 seasons, his penultimate season in 2021 was 5,300 passing yards. That was the best and highest passing yards of his career. What happened, Sam?
The weakest pass interference we have seen since yesterday. Or sorry, not pass interference. The weakest roughing the passer that we've seen since yesterday. Shedeur Sanders, Cam Hayward. Cam doesn't hit him in the head, barely falls on top of him. He has a defender pushing him at the same time, so he can't adjust his body weight, and the ref throws the flag.
I really
because of
hate
what
this
he
like
does,
landing
dude.
on the player thing. Like where are you supposed
It's
to fall?
terrible, man.
Where are you supposed to go?
It's terrible.
Penalty
Honestly,
for
like,
playing defense.
yeah, seriously. There's a great TikTok that's going viral right now, and it's the intro to the NFL, like Sunday Night Football or something, and they say every clip in this is now a penalty, and it's totally true. It's all the biggest hits. It's all the quarterbacks getting 3 dudes piled on top of them. All these things happening. Every single thing that they show is now a penalty, and like I totally understand. I don't want to see quarterbacks getting blown up and stuff too, but there has to be a middle line. Like you have to be able to
What
play
bothers
defense
me is how often they will
sometimes.
call a flag in a game and then use the clip of that flag in a promotional video.
In a promo. That's absolutely so frustrating, man. So frustrating. Knock, I sent you another clip. Pop this one open.
I have
This
seen this guy.
is-
This is fucking incredible.
Okay, so for context, the onside kick is a rule. Anybody that's a European soccer fan, basically what happens is instead of kicking the ball all the way down the field, if you're like at the very end of the game and you're down by a bunch of points, you can do this thing called the onside kick, where your team has a chance to recover the ball. And this guy has turned the onside kick into an absolute art form.
This right here, this one is my favorite one. It's how the clip opens. I'll just restart it so we can watch it fresh.
So he's kicking the ball in this funny way where it bounces up in the air and he kicks it into the floor. And then
That one made
as-
him laugh. Dude, the pot one is actually fucking hilarious. When he giggles too. It's actually ridiculously impressive that he has that type of control.
Yeah, it is. Because the football itself is so weirdly shaped, right? And then on top of it, his ability to get there and get it open. Because on an onside kick in the NFL, the ball has to travel 10 yards before you're allowed to claim it as the team kicking. So the team that's receiving is allowed to touch it any point that they want, but you have to make sure the ball gets 10 yards downfield, and that's whenever you catch it. And so essentially you kick it in these funny ways where it bounces all funky and it tries to like go over one set of people and you can run behind and catch it, or it goes up in the air so that the person catching it will get like blown up by the time he's able to touch the ball. And they're doing more and more stuff like this. And I think it's pretty funny that there's almost a world in which if you're good enough at onside kicks, I mean, what do you think, man? How big would a roster need to be? Right now it's 53 players. Would it need to go to like 70 before we're like, you know what? Let's bring in the onside kick specialist.
Yeah, listen, you're not wasting a roster spot on bros kicking footballs into his oven and pots of water on the stove. You know what I mean?
Let him live, Knock.
Phil, we heard what you said. Mix, we got you. I don't know what it is. When we pull up Instagram clips, it is just not very loud for us, but evidently is the loudest thing on earth for you guys. So we will mute them from moving forward. And then Phil, you can just get the clip and take in the audio. But no, listen, in a world in which you had like 95 slots on the roster, you would have a specialist for absolutely everything, right? But because of that 55 or 53 man roster limit, although I will say, I want to know how many clips, how many attempts it took this man. Because I would imagine this guy's wife comes home and this guy's just, there's shit everywhere. This guy's kicking off the fridge. All those photos are falling off the wall. Everything on his counter is broken.
Just skid marks all over the cupboards and stuff. Oh, Lave looks like he got away with a big play. Let's see that coming up in just a second. Chase Brown, also another touchdown. The Bengals are cooking, and Obi is taking a victory lap on his boy Olave.
This Seahawks-Panthers game, boring.
So boring, dude.
Something
what a
happened.
Mess. What a mess.
It's crazy
I
that
will
twice now
say,
in the last 2 weeks, or in the last 3 weeks, the Seahawks have been held to like 3 or 4 points at half.
yeah, yeah. I don't know what happened to that offense. Do you think that that's a technicality? Like, do you think that people are figuring out how to disrupt that offense, or is it simply that they're on a cold streak? They're just not playing well. What's your diagnosis of that team?
Honestly, I think it's probably a little bit of both. So you've got, I mean, they're one of the higher heavy rushing offenses in the league. I think they're rushing at like a 54% clip, which is higher than most of the league. Most of the league is rushing. I'm realizing that this clip just keeps playing in the background as I'm talking. It's distracting me. Most of the league is rushing somewhere in that like 52%. So sounds marginal, makes a big difference over the course of the year. I think what you're getting there is teams are selling out to stop the run. They're playing defenses where they've got guys in front of them because JSN beats people deep. I think part of the trick for the Seahawks is, can we get the running game going? Charbonnet and Walker can do some damage and can take out 5-10 yards every time they rush the ball. You're going to have more things open up downfield, which will open up things for JSN. But if you look at them from like a receiver perspective, they're not that deep. JSN is basically 80% of their passing game. And if he is locked up, then it's hard for the rushing game to do anything. T-Law with his second rushing touchdown of the game.
Yeah, the fact that T-Law wasn't able to make it into FDF is honestly one of the more disappointing players. I know that we were doing a shortened season. I'm sure he'll be in there next year. But the fact that he has been the hottest quarterback in the league, he has 15 touchdowns in just the last few weeks. He is absolutely on fire and unfortunately not eligible for us.
Kopi in the FDF Discord saying stop the count as he shows his clip of his two running backs, Derrick Henry and Chase Brown at 1-2. On that note, Kopi, let's take a quick look at what we've got going on here. The quarterback position, Drake May still in second place. Doesn't look like he's going to be playing much more today. The running back, Chase Brown now in second place. Jonathan Taylor in fifth. Still getting a lot of yards. Devon Chain still back out there in the seventh spot. Hunter Henry in second. Tyler Warren still in fifth. Not a whole lot from Trey McBride, 4.9 points, but is making his way back into the game. Remember, that game is now pretty much into blowout territory. It's 30-7. If there was a time for it, it's over the course of the next 20 minutes or so. You're going to see some garbage time touchdowns from Trey McBride.
Where's my boy Jalen Warren, top 5 running back at?
Jalen Warren is, in fact, not a top 5 running back or a top 10 running back or... there he is, number 14 on the day. At the wide receiver spot, Stephon Diggs, Jamar Chase, Chris Olave, 3 new guys, and JSN on the outside looking in at 9.9 points. Got to imagine that as that game starts to open up a little bit more, you're going to have more information, more exciting things there. We are going to do another pack at 3 o'clock. We're also going to have Max joining us from...
I've got one, Knock. I've got one.
All right. Lame it, Sam.
For the rest of the game, we'll do another one for the end of the quarter or whatever for the third here. What position does Jalen Warren end at by the end of the early window of games? He's at 14th right now. Just give us a number closest to wins a pack. What do you think? Is that eligible?
Let's do it. Whoever that was that called top 5 RB backfield. I better see a number that starts with 1, 2, or 3.
I would love if he was like 13th. That'd be so good.
He actually falls down in the standings, ends the day on 15th or 16th.
Yeah, so tell us what position you think Jalen Warren's going to finish the early window of games in. I see a 7. I see a 6. He'll break the top 10. Somebody says 9. Keep them coming.
I love Guillotine saying Charbonnet vulturing Kenneth Walker again. Yeah, pretty insane. Jalen Warren ranks 6. We saw 7, a 9, a 12. Get those in right now. Where do you think Jalen Warren finishes by the end of the day? It's crazy that Myles Garrett is still not had that sack. He's gotten close a couple times today.
God bless, dude. God bless pass protection. Oh my God.
It'll always make me laugh that I can Google just the name of any other NFL team, Steelers, Colts, and that's the first thing that comes up. I said it like 3 times over the course of the last 3 weeks. It'll never not make me laugh that when you type in Browns, you get a shoe company.
That is incredible, dude. I'm dropping the YouTube link one more time for you guys as well. If you're just listening to us on Twitter, because I know we have a bunch of viewers over there, don't forget, if you're giving us predictions, you have to give it to us on YouTube, because Twitter, amazing platform that it is, does not preserve chat history, and therefore we can never go back and actually check who is correct.
Yeah, we
in
made
their
that mistake
predictions.
once.
God, never again. Never again. We love you guys, though. Thank you so much for hanging with us in Amplified number 5. Sorry, I got distracted because Steve Adler said May is only 0.2 points away from the top spot. Damn, I wonder if he's going to play. Has that game started yet? Do we know if Drake May is starting the opening drive? We have a bunch more predictions rolling in. 13th, 10th, 24th for Jalen Warren, 11th, 8th, 12th, 14. Somebody says he's staying at 14. Somebody says 112th. Oh, they corrected it. Just regular 12th. Excited to see where he ends up now. I actually really like this one. That's going to be a lot of fun to see. Thanks. I forget who it was that originally said that was a top 5 duo, but I appreciate the fun little flavor prop bet that we got out of it.
I'm more aligned with 112th there, Andy. I think that's probably reasonable.
Man, the Colts again with a massive kickoff return. This is the second time they've gotten the ball
Ashton
over.
Doolin, baby.
Wow. Amazing. This is also the first time that the Jags have started to actually look quite good to win by over 3.5. They now have a 4-point lead after being in shambles for most of the game here.
Am I wrong in saying that Chuck is the best rookie QB this class? I think so. I think he's the best.
By saying who, sorry?
Chuck.
Yeah. Oh, no. Absolutely so far.
I think Cam Ward is maybe a distant second.
Yeah, I mean, Cam Ward makes some cool plays. We see him avoid a lot of tackles and stuff, but like turns out there's more to being a quarterback than doing that.
It is true.
Tie it all together.
Wow, great coverage by Brown downfield on Alec Pierce. Wow, my brain just melted. Could not think of his name there.
Drake May is still playing, baby. Rack him up. Rack him up for the Drake May believers. Phillip Rivers getting the ball downfield on 3rd and 10.
That's
throws
a catch.
it like 17 yards. I do think that's a catch. Holy shit.
What a catch, Josh Downs.
The old man can sling it. You love to see it, dude. Man, almost the 4th quarter.
Max scared the shit out of me. I heard a noise in the back. I can see you backstage, Max. We're going to bring you up in a second. I'm like, where is that sound coming from? Okay, fair warning. I'm going to bring Max on stage. What you're going to see is Max eat up the entire screen for a short minute. We'll get that sorted real quick when I turn on his camera.
We're just trying to highlight my guy. My guy, big dog. Got to pump his ego up now that the Lions, unfortunately, weren't able to make the playoffs.
Oh, dude. I can hear
my
him.
heart breaks
Can
for you,
see
brother.
him. Okay, here we go. Okay, let me bring him up to the top really quick.
Sounds like I'm drinking quite a bit.
We're gonna do this live on the fly. Look, the stream is now just Max.
There he is.
That's why I had to groom myself for you guys before those.
All right, here we go.
3rd and 5, first down for the Steelers. We're still pumping. Max, easily one of the most likable teams in recent memory of the NFL. I mean, I don't know a single person that isn't a fan of the other teams in that division. Obviously, Packers and Bears fans, they're not big fans. But everybody I know that's outside of that was rooting for the Lions whenever the Lions played the Rams and the Stafford-Goff battle happened and stuff like that. A bunch of us were rooting for them whenever they made the playoffs last year, but unfortunately some injuries made that fall short against the now Commanders, I should call them. What are you feeling after another season ending with unfortunate injuries to like Brian Branch and company?
Yeah, I don't feel great. I've been following Lions X feed a lot recently, and everyone's freaking out right now, as you can imagine. We had a nice little window for Super Bowl. If you guys remember, we were up 24-7 against the Niners in the NFC Championship 2 years ago, and 15-2 last year, choked against the Commanders, and now it looks like we're probably going to finish under 500. So it's tough. It goes to show it. NFL's hard. It's a hard league. You only have so much time to win, and especially when you get injuries. It's not pretty, and you have good coordinators like Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson that leave to become head coaches. So a lot up in the air right now. So we'll figure it out.
I think that's one of the unfortunately super sad things about having a great staff in the NFL is that staff does not stick together for very long, right? Colts, actually, the last time that Philip Rivers played for the Colts back in 2020, our offensive coordinator is now the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles. You know, took that team to 2 Super Bowls, winning one of them. You lose a lot of those staff members, and I don't think people realize how much an offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator, or even just like a quality check, the staff that they have for like offensive quality control and things of that nature, how much that matters for a team. Because you look at the Lions and you go, we've still got Goff. He's been playing pretty well. I mean, with the exception of the last 2 weeks, but prior to the last 2 weeks, up until week 14, he's been playing really well. You got probably the best running back duo in the NFL in Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. You got a great pair of wide receivers in JMO and Amon-Ra St. Brown, a tight end in Laporta who can catch. And you go, what went wrong? And I think we kind of alluded to it earlier last time we had you on, but I think it probably starts with Ben Johnson and ends with Frank Ragnow. If you have to point 2 things from the offensive side of the ball, what happens? Those are the obvious 2 answers. And I got to say, Max, you know, last time you were on, we spoke about what does the path look for the Colts and the Lions. And sure enough, 2 weeks later, there is no path.
There's no path. That end. Yeah.
That path looked like the Hoover fucking Dam, boys, unfortunately.
It was a short-lived path, but
yeah. I thought the next guest would be the Lions fan wearing a blue wig. That would have been hilarious, man.
Oh, that's crazy, especially with what Metcalf's dealing with now. He's going to lose his guaranteed money, or potentially.
We were talking about this earlier. 45. Yeah. No, it's 100% been voided. So $45 million in guarantees gone. That doesn't affect this year. It probably doesn't affect next year. But what it does affect is 2027. He is owed $20 million from the day he steps foot in training camp. But because that guarantee has been voided, the Steelers could cut him after 2026 and lose nothing.
Yeah, the other big piece for anybody that's a European football fan or something, I'm not sure how guaranteed money necessarily works in that league, but the big thing here in the NFL is like injuries happen, and especially as wide receivers, running backs, and stuff. You tear an ACL and you lose 0.1 second on your 40 time, and that could be the difference between you being an NFL wide receiver that's the best in the league and making 20-30 million a year, or somebody that's making 3 million a year, or somebody that's making just out of the league, period. Yeah. And so the fact that he loses that guaranteed money literally means that if he blows up his knee tomorrow and we cut him for free, like there's a large likelihood that he basically jeopardized, his entire generational wealth. Now, luckily for him, he's already been making a ton of money. I'm sure he'll be fine if he's doing anything that's not completely idiotic with the money he's made so far. But there's been documentaries about how rare that is, that people do anything other than the idiotic stuff with their money. So we'll see how that shakes out.
We did see OBJ just a week ago saying you can't live off $100 million. So who knows?
It's all about the lifestyle. But I mean, that's really a big reason why there's always, every summer, there's always a couple big contract negotiations where guys sit out, and it's because of the guaranteed money. Yeah, nothing's promised in the NFL. You never know. 1, 2, 3 years, how much time you have left. And especially with the Metcalf, $20 million after 2 years, unless he's still putting up, crazy numbers, and he hasn't really put up crazy numbers this year.
Right.
Probably no shot that the Steelers are going to re-sign him for that amount. So it's massive.
Obi-Wan saying Chase Brown with another big play.
Third TD.
See those guys go off. Third TD is crazy. So your running back leaders on FDF, Derrick Henry with 4 touchdowns yesterday. Chase Brown with 3 touchdowns today. They are making the Cardinals pay for the sins of the turf toe that took Joe Burrow out of the game for 12 weeks. Monarch saying Drake May about to be taken out of play. We expected that. That team is way ahead. What did I miss, Sam? Another touchdown pass. Philip Rivers to Mo Alley Cox. The wrong tight end, unfortunately.
Yet again.
One of the things that's been interesting with Philip Rivers, he's been looking for Mo Alley Cox a lot more frequently than some of the other guys on the team. Now, the Colts actually have, with the exception of Josh Down, I think they are the 2nd largest receiving group in the NFL. So their top 4 targets by size, Mo Alley Cox is 6'7", Tyler Warren 6'5", Alec Pierce at 6'4", and Michael Pittman Jr. at 6'3". Old guy, likes to chuck the ball downfield. Having a bunch of guys above 6'3" is a great great thing. But Mo
Well,
Ali
he's
Cox,
Mo Ali Cox. He's also a basketball player.
oh man,
He's one
if you took a
tight
shot,
ends.
if I had $1 for every broadcast that said Mo Ali Cox played center in college, I would
Yeah.
have a whole lot of dollars. That's a sack. Who is this? Grant Delpit
Oh.
again?
Yeah, not Myles Garrett, not what they were looking for. Boswell misses the kick, one of the best kickers in NFL history, and he misses wide right. That's absolutely huge
All right.
for the Steelers
So,
Browns game.
so Max, earlier today we did a do we think that Myles Garrett breaks the sack record? The score is now 10-6, which by the way, Sam, what did I say our two options were for the way that this game played out? It was going to be 30-15 or 10-6. I thought the Steelers were going to win 10-6. It looks like it's the Browns 10-6. You're going to see a lot of passing down, obvious passing down situations right now for the Steelers between now and the end of the game. They need to score. They're down an entire score. A field goal does not do it for them. They need a touchdown.
This is brutal, man. The Ravens resurgence as well, with them absolutely crushing the Packers last night. If the Steelers win this, we simply do not have to give a damn about that Ravens game. But if we manage to lose to the 3-win Browns, we make that game hyper important and could potentially miss the playoffs. Disgusting what these teams do to us, dude.
What's really interesting is the Bryce Young stat line that was just shown on screen. I don't know if you caught that, but Bryce Young is 7 for 16, 16 yards total passing and an interception.
This dude threw for 450 earlier. What the fuck?
He's been the biggest hit or miss player,
Yeah.
for first overall quarterback. Been crazy.
He really is, man.
Yeah.
Seahawks defense
Mike
looking to be one of the best
look at
in the
this.
league too. That's crazy, man. I mean, the Seahawks certainly have Super Bowl chances, in my opinion, but they just haven't looked as good as they did previously. Looks like they're turning it on in this second half, though.
The biggest thing that these guys have done. Sorry, go ahead, Sam.
Drake May officially sitting. So hopefully May did enough to continue to keep that number one spot the rest of the day.
We saw the trade tree from. Do you remember that Russell Wilson to Denver Broncos trade?
I do.
So this was a couple years ago.
NFL history.
Yeah, 2 first-round picks. The Denver Broncos, now in hindsight, now that we know what the picks are, gave up Jackson Smith-Njigba and Witherspoon for Russell Wilson. Witherspoon, one of the top maybe 6 or 7 cornerbacks in the NFL, depending on who you are and whether or not you like the way that he plays. JSN, at the absolute worst, is the second best receiver in the NFL this year. Probably the best receiver in the NFL this year. And on any given year by talent, I think the only 2 guys that I look at and I go, those guys are obviously more talented, are Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson. So at best or at worst, you gave up a top 3. This was the replay of the Chase Brown touchdown. I was going to say, there's no way this man just scored another touchdown.
Yeah. It looks like the last one was called back for something. I love, though, whenever a team rewards the same player that scored the touchdown anyway. It always
giving the ball
feels
to
good.
Samaje Perine, like earlier
Yeah,
today.
exactly. Imagine letting him vulture a friggin' another one, dude. Max, I wanted to ask you, I know you've been traveling all over the world doing a bunch of conferences. For anybody that doesn't know, Max does, he owns a company called Momentum X Global. And it's because the dude is flying all over the world, hosting events, specifically around, crypto, Web3. Curious what you guys did this year, what you're doing next year, and what people should look forward to or find you at.
Yeah, no, exactly. And in short, we help curate experiences for businesses that actually make money from events, not lose money. So get the right people in the room for B2B companies, tech companies to end up closing business and building relationships with key stakeholders. So we had a pretty crazy year, did 25 events, 10 cities, 4 continents. So got that air mileage up quite a bit. Across multiple different verticals, Sam, we did one together in Germany in Gamescom, and done some institutional focus events, consumer focus events, and AI with Google Cloud and others. So next year will be even busier probably, but looking forward to it. We are going to be doing more of these, business to business or investor focused premium dinners, mixers, and one-day summit style events with keynotes and panels at major conferences. And then we're actually going to be focusing on building out a hub in New York City with a monthly event series there, focusing more on the financial institutional space with where everything's going on the blockchain crypto side, with stable coins and ETF adoption and things like that. So we're going to be focusing pretty hard on that vertical and building relationships in New York. So that's right now. I don't know if I'll beat my flight record of 58 last year, 79 the year before. It's hard to beat, but we'll see what happens.
Bro is boarding group 1 on every airline.
Yeah, it's right. That's why I like being in Columbus over the holidays. Pretty chill.
Looks
no
like a 5th TD came in from Drake May before he sat down. Somebody's saying Browns interception. I'm not sure if they mean the Browns got a pick or if the Steelers got a pick. Shedeur scrambling out of the pocket on my screen, heaves one up, and that's going to be for the Steelers, baby.
Oh, interception.
What
nice.
a classic Shedeur Sanders play. Legit.
Yeah, this one up being like 12-10, 2 more field goals on the Steelers side.
Oh God, man. What a terrible, terrible, terrible quarterback. I can't believe they drafted 2 rookie quarterbacks and neither can play quarterback.
I'm telling you, bro, he was John Elway for the first 2 quarters, but luckily regressing to the mean as we know him to do.
Yeah.
Panthers trying to make this a game. 4th and 1 on their own 40, and they go for it. Bryce Young able to scramble out of the pocket, picks it up. That's a huge.
You know what's crazy? He just had more rushing yards off that one play than he has passing yards today.
Steve Adler also keeping us updated that Henderson is still in the game for the Pats. Huge FDF running back the last few weeks. Hopefully, for all the Henderson believers.
Wow. Drake May ends the day 0.1 points off of the lead of Jordan Love. So will finish at best 2nd place. Running back position, Chase Brown, not going to catch Derrick Henry, but very comfortably in 2nd place. Tight ends, Hunter Henry in 1st place now. Tyler Warren dropped down to 5th. Trey McBride still doing a whole lot of nothing. And then in the wide receiver slot, wow, Jamar Chase back with 0.1 points. Stephon Diggs holding on. Chris Olave rounding out that top 3. Really interesting to see that play. Yeah, we're seeing Olave and Chase can still come first. It looks like Stephon Diggs may have been sat as well in that Patriots game.
Damn. Yeah, another one. What's Stephon Diggs sitting at right now?
He is in first at 25.1 points.
My man. I have another question for Max, but it's going to require you bringing up this next link that I just sent you, Knock.
Yep.
I always think about, if I was going to be a pro in any sport, what sport would I be able to really like bring the goods in? And I think this is mine. I think if I had to do anything, it would probably be Balloon World Cup.
I've never seen this before.
We all played this game, whether we know it or not. You got to keep the balloon off the ground.
My brother used to play this every birthday growing up. We'd take the balloons and we'd see if we could beat last year's record. We never played against each other in this fashion.
Yeah, that's the incredible part. They put all kinds of objects, the best one obviously being the entire car.
I love this. Yeah, got to get Blake Griffin in there, someone to jump over it.
Yeah, that's right.
I guess these guys I guess they're wearing helmets so that they don't kill themselves diving into that car.
Is this a full contact game?
This is Peru versus Germany right now. I can't believe. What does qualification look like? How do you get to represent your country in the Balloon World Cup?
It's an absolutely great question. Also, first of all, you probably have to know it exists.
They're all
there's only like 100 applicants worldwide.
It's like when we were younger, we were looking for a friend of mine actually held it for a short period of time, but we were looking for Guinness World Records that were like ridiculously easy to break, and we had set this whole thing up about the farthest throw of a tennis ball, and the Guinness World Record at the time was only like 80 yards, and we were like, surely we can throw a tennis ball further than 80 yards. So we spent a whole summer training, and my buddy threw it for 116, took the Guinness World Record for a very short period of time until actual athletes decided, hey, I want that Guinness World Record as well. Evidently, you could throw a tennis ball pretty far.
Oh, yeah. Just imagine Josh Allen throwing one.
Yeah.
He was a NFL football 100 yards.
Your friend threw it 116 yards.
Yeah, so it's not like – so the distance on the throw was not how far does it travel in the air. It is total distance on a field, right? So and there was no –
he like does the spin, so he like
like shot put.
Obi-Wan asking if Jacoby Brissett is always this awful. No, he's actually usually fairly good, probably one of, if not the best backup quarterbacks in the NFL over the course of the last decade or so.
Lomer
Is he-
says Brawny and Shador Sanders both need to switch to Balloon World Cup.
Yeah, Brissett was putting up insane volume numbers though earlier
Yeah.
this year. They were having him to throw like 60 times a game. They were just like, yeah, let's just try to get as much out of him as we can, end of his career.
Warren not even moving, and I was ambitious enough to say 8th. We had somebody earlier on the show, Max, say that Jalen Warren and Kenneth Gainwell are a top 5 running back pairing in the NFL. And I said there are at least 5 running backs that you would take alone over both of those guys together.
Yeah, I know for sure. I think the pairing wise, I have to look at a list of pairings, but I mean they're pretty solid together. If you want to 1 and 2,
Chase Brown, Samaje Perine sounds better to me.
Certainly after this
Gibbs,
game,
and David
Jesus
Montgomery.
Oh, the Steelers, 3rd and 1, easy pickup, false start. 4th and 6, A-Rod throws a dirt ball. Jesus Christ, boys. Jesus.
Jeez.
It's hurting me. Myles Garrett almost got to him. He got
I think
hands
that's
on
why he
the-
threw that dirt ball.
Yeah, probably.
Wait,
Yeah, you know the Steelers are doing everything they can to not let him get that sack. They definitely do
Yeah.
not want it.
oh, Garrett just did a celebration. I thought maybe they had credited it to him, but
I think just for the pressure.
So now, how are you feeling about Rivers coming back next year? Going to be a player coach, or what's the?
listen,
think?
okay, we're talking about guaranteed money. Here's how I really feel. Phillip Rivers just got himself and all of his 47 kids an additional 5 years of NFL insurance. So great thing for him. Helps to alleviate the pressure of a man who made $200 million in his career. Definitely does not need more money. But now he's got coverage for 5 years for his entire family.
I mean, he's got like 30 kids, so you know that
Yeah.
helps out a lot.
He has a son who is a year old and a grandson who's 2 years old. Which is a
That's
crazy sentence to
crazy.
say out loud. But that is a fact. He has 11 kids. No, the real thing is this. We talked about guaranteed money, and this is why it's so important. You look at Daniel Jones, has all that guaranteed money with the Giants, gets sat, leaves, goes to Minnesota for a year, comes to Indianapolis, brings the team to 7-1. Looks like he's probably going to get paid $35-40 million in 2026. Breaks his leg, tears his Achilles, tears it in week 14, which means he's probably not coming back until like week 9 or 10 next year, which means he's not going to be on the Colts, which means he's not going to be on a team next year, which means that man might be done his NFL career, but because by the time his Achilles heals fully, he's going to be looking at 31, 32 years old, a full year out missing from an Achilles, has nothing really to show for it other than a 7-8 game stretch with Indianapolis. You want to talk about quarterback situation? Daniel Jones is somebody who just got royally fucked by those injuries, and we might have seen the last of them. Now, what does that mean for the Colts? It means our options are a literal retiree, a man who has a kid the age of Anthony Richardson, or Anthony Richardson, who I think has all the physical traits, might be the most physically gifted athlete in the NFL, is definitely the most physically gifted quarterback. He had a perfect 10 on the RAS score, which is relative athletic score. So they take all of your positional peers, they put your athletic abilities against theirs. The score says he's the most athletic quarterback we've ever seen. Unfortunately, if it's too windy a day, he breaks his legs. So I don't really know what we're going to do next year, but it better not be fucking 45-year-old Phillip Rivers retired for 5 years. No,
I also love how Anthony Richardson either makes the best throw of all time or he misses a guy that's like absolutely wide open.
I think the biggest issue with Anthony Richardson, my brother and I were talking about this. He's got an arm that only maybe 3 other quarterbacks in the NFL can replicate, right? Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen, and then I can't remember the guy's name. I think his name's Milton, plays for the Patriots, who actually probably has the best arm in the NFL, just a terrible quarterback overall. But Milton is a machine. But the problem with Richardson is it doesn't matter if that ball is 70 yards downfield or 7 yards downfield. It is coming at you with the exact same fucking speed. And it's really hard to catch a ball from 7 yards out that's flying 110 miles an hour, right? You're going to break your hands. That's the problem. There's no touch for Richardson. And he probably needs to be playing touch football because if he gets touched, something is going to fucking shatter.
That's like old school Peyton Manning commercial. Remember when he's like absolutely chucking the ball at the little kids?
Yeah.
They're playing outside. He's throwing
Dude, have you seen Julian Edelman's hands?
Yeah.
This guy's hands look like this. His fingers are all fucked up. They're like 10 years of catching footballs from Tom Brady. And Tom Brady's not throwing the ball as hard as Anthony Richardson. People were making business decisions on whether or not they want to put their hands in front of that. The Browns with the ball.
We're in the last quarter of most of these games, aka the witching hour. Could we pull up the Kalshi lines and maybe let people pick which underdog they think has the best chance at coming back at this point, maybe for another pack? The Browns get another long run coming back because of a holding call. No surprise there.
So we'll do this. 2 active ones. Number 1, where does Jaylen Warren finish? Closest to it will win a pack. We have, does Myles Garrett get the sack? The tight end position had maybe 25 entrants. Only one person got it correct. So which is crazy. And he only chose Tyler Warren because nobody else had picked him. So we're going to look through this right now. Here's the next pack between now and the end of these 1 o'clock games. Which of the current underdogs will win the game? We're going to look at Arizona, Cincinnati down 37-7. Indianapolis, currently a tied game, but are the underdogs at 35%. You're looking at New England and New York at 42-10. You're looking
somebody pick the Jets, man. Just somebody pick the Jets.
You're looking at New Orleans and Tennessee at 26-20. Pittsburgh is currently the underdog to the Cleveland Browns. A sentence that makes Sam want to vomit. Down 10-6. Seattle ahead of Carolina 17-10. And then finally Miami up 20-10 over Tampa Bay. If Tampa loses this game, they are eliminated from playoff contention. No win against Carolina will do it for them. They're a whole game behind, or 2 games behind rather. So give us a current underdog that you think will win by 4 o'clock. If you're right, you will earn a pack.
Just a reminder, just because a team is down in score doesn't make them an underdog. We're talking about statistically based on the odds on Kalshi, they are the underdog, meaning you'd have to put, or you get plus money if you were to predict them. I'm going to go personally with, I think Carolina still has it in the tank.
I think
they still have a chance.
My choice is probably New Orleans. I feel the best about the Saints winning this game, especially Chuck Olave, garbage time. It's going to be difficult to cover that guy. Anything that jumps out at you, Max?
No, I'm a big Olave guy as well, and Chuck's been looking good. I think the Saints will
there
take
you go.
this
So
one.
we've got Chris saying Tampa. We've got Orrin and Obi-Wan both saying Steelers. We've got Snake at Carolina. We've got Dub saying Carolina. Another Tampa pick. Trey McBride now 3.9 points away from first place off the backs of a big catch. And then we've got Mix and Gabby and Professional Gambler all saying Saints.
This fucking home cooking from Knock, dude. Pittsburgh, Lomer, my boy, says Pittsburgh. You just skip right over that one. Don't worry.
Missed it. I saw all those Saints, my eyes glossed over. Colts do it for the old man.
The ball back right here. You love to see it. So you're saying there's a chance. I thought my Pittsburgh homerism had run its course, so I said Carolina, but really, you know, I'm believing in the boys. Max, tell me I'm right, please.
I don't know. In Pittsburgh fashion, I wouldn't be surprised if they lose the last 2 games and
Max puts his hand over his mouth. I don't know, man. I'm not too sure.
I think Tallman likes the 9-8 record, so he might try to tank right now.
That's right. Winning season, both a bless and a curse. We talked about the monkey paw curling for Myles Garrett. You get to be the league leader in sacks all time. However, you're on a team that's going to get 3 wins. The Pittsburgh Steelers are never going to have a losing season again. However, they'll never win another playoff game. Just trapped in our own versions of hell here.
We're looking at
the Dolphins now with an 87% win probability, according to AWS. The Bucks losing to the Dolphins whenever your playoff hopes are on the line. It's just a brutal way to go out, man.
I saw someone tweet last week, Baker Mayfield, when it comes to trying to make the playoffs, and it's him in the Panthers jersey.
Yeah.
He's just been so bad recently.
Somebody said there's like a really interesting parallel between Baker's first 3-4 years in Cleveland and what's been going on in the Bucks. Starts out hot, gets hurt, plays through injury, starts to suck a little bit. Seems like that's happening here in Tampa Bay as well. Max, we were saying it's crazy to see that as the Bucks have gotten healthier, they've gotten worse. They're getting everybody back and they start losing more games.
It is crazy, man. Chris Alex saying that Tampa stays alive if the Panthers lose. So I think it would come down to that Week 18 matchup, similar to the Steelers-Ravens situation, which could be really interesting. Seattle gets the first down. They're keeping the drive alive right about midfield. A nice little run pass option from the Jags in order to get the edge. ETN. Where's ETN at in the grand scheme of things?
ETN is currently sitting in 8th at 9.7 points.
Yeah, hasn't really made much noise. I see you just brought another clip up. Go ahead.
Well, I'm actually going to bring up my favorite tool, the playoff machine. I want to take a quick look right here and look at that Panthers game. So the Panthers are playing Seahawks. Panthers lose, and the Bucks lose. We go to Week 18. Panthers are at 8-8. Tampa Bay at 7-8. So they would get the head-to-head. If the Bucks win that game, they take the head-to-head. They're in 4th place. Panthers win it. They're in 4th place. So a win from Carolina eliminates Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay basically needs to win next week and pray for a Carolina loss. Both of those teams are locked in the 4th seed, much like the AFC, in which the Steelers and the Ravens are both locked into a maximum of that 4th seed. So we know that the Ravens won yesterday. If the Steelers win today, they kill the Ravens. If they lose today, it will go into Week 18, in which the winner of that game, I believe, will come in 4th.
It's pretty funny to think that the Ravens fans are bigger Browns fans than the actual Browns fans are right now.
I'm curious.
Browns fans are used to checking out in September, so they're
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, you used to checking out before the season even begins, man. Yeah, listen, also, like, the second worst thing about living in Cleveland is having to be a Browns fan. The worst thing is living in Cleveland. Fuck. Dude, I walk downtown Cleveland. Okay, I'm from Toronto. Toronto, very walkable city. The closest, like, I think, city in atmosphere to it is probably New York, specifically Manhattan. Everything is walkable. You go for a walk, you're gonna see 1,000 people. You're gonna see 1,000 stores. In Cleveland, I went for like a 25-minute walk, and I saw one open store and 460 abandoned buildings. So what is going on in Cleveland? Wow.
Oh my God,
dude, is that Del Pitt again? This guy's having the day of his life on a game where Myles Garrett is just trying to get one. Okay, I want to bring this up. Playoff machine. I want to run through this. So we know New England is going to win this game. We know this game is still a toss-up.
Real quick, it's 4th and 5. We're at midfield. You guys going for that?
In the Panthers game?
5 minutes on the clock. 5 minutes on the clock.
Oh, dude, if I'm the Seahawks.
No, for the Steelers.
For the Steelers. No, dude, I am not.
Steelers, they're probably gonna punt.
You're punting from the 50?
I would.
Who's got? Wait, the Browns have the ball or Steelers?
Steelers do.
Oh,
down 4. I mean, plenty of time.
JSN just got poked in the eyes.
Oh,
that's true.
I've never seen a ref make that hand signal.
Yeah, that's a new one.
I mean, I would probably actually go for it, but I don't know that they probably won't go for it. What, have they ran the play yet?
Not that I can see. My gut instinct at the 50 is to go for it as well, especially whenever the Browns have this bad of an offense. But you could make the alternative case, which is you should punt the ball because their offense sucks. So you'll most likely get it back once, if not twice, before the game ends. And there it is. They punt.
Probably will not.
Terrible offense, man. Jesus.
It's not the damn office, though. Lions go for that every single time.
They sure do. They sure do.
Yeah, JSN poked in the eyes. Looks like a face mask penalty is going to extend that drive for Seattle, moving their win probability to 86%. Something that's interesting here. AWS is saying 86%. What is Kalshi saying? Kalshi is saying 90%.
Oh, wow.
Interesting.
Wow. That's a nice little arbitrage there.
JC Horn. What's going on here?
What do you think that over chance is? 27 points right now. I think it was 42.5 that I took.
You need a score on each for each team. More than that, I think you're fried on the over. Yeah, because you would need 10. You would need 27 more points to be scored.
Yeah, it's a little bit tough. Also looking tough in the Steelers game. I did exit the Jets New England one just in case there were no more scores. Looks like it would have cleared, but I was able to exit for 95%, and I said we take those.
Colts with a big third down stop here. Looked like they're going to get that ball back from the Jags would be classic Colts to finally beat the Jags in a week that does not matter.
What is it, 4th and 1?
Yeah. Olave doing well. Somebody just said, Orm just said fucking Saints. So something good or bad has just happened in that Saints game.
Oh, fumble.
Fumble.
Turnover.
Dude.
No.
Dante Pettis, 32-yard catch and fumble.
Dang.
All over. That's huge. 11 minutes left.
Brutal.
JSN just climbed into 5th spot. Interesting.
Oh, looks like the Colts maybe got a fumble as well. Or no, 4th and 1. The Colts might have stuffed it.
Seahawks 3rd and 4th, breaking into the Panther side of the field here. That ball was snapped on 0 seconds. May have been a delay game. JSN, big catch.
Wow.
Did the Colts stop this? Oh my God, look at T-Lot. Look at him just yoink the ball out of his hand. You see that? I think he's down right there.
The Colts have the ball.
Absolutely stuffed.
Yeah.
Andy fumbled.
And it looks like he just rushed for no gain. They didn't get it.
It's kind of crazy if you think about it. Trevor Lawrence, 6'5", can fall forward for 3.5 yards, but needed one, came up short.
Couldn't do it.
Jamar has not moved.
Oh, the virtual measurement. God, we're living in the future, boys.
This is probably a big game for Jacksonville for playoff position.
Yeah.
Is that right? So
yeah, if they lose this game, they can actually give up the 1 seed, or sorry, give up the AFC South.
Oh yeah, with the Texans winning last night.
Yeah, let's take a quick look at this. So Colts beat the Jags here. You're going to see Texans jump into 3rd. It doesn't actually change much for that first game. No matter what, Jacksonville and Houston, at least by the looks of it, will be playing in round 1. But I guess it would change their seeding and their path forward should Jacksonville win in that 6th seed. Excuse me.
They'd be playing the lesser of the top 2 teams with the bye, right?
Yeah, exactly. Interesting playoff matchup here. So right now, let's give the Bengals this win. Raiders, Giants really does not matter. Who do you guys think wins this afternoon game between Bills and Eagles?
Oh, that's a good game. Let me look at the line. What is that? It's the Bills -3. Let's see.
I saw you convert on 4th down there, Sam. Don't worry. I saw why you're happy.
We stuffed 3rd and 1, but it's gonna be as the Seahawks player drops. I think it was Cooper Kupp barely drops the touchdown pass. 4th and inches for the Browns, and I think are they sending the offense out? No way. No, they're punting. Okay. That would have been crazy. Steelers making the right play, get the ball back
that
there.
Ball hit Cooper Kupp in both hands.
Crazy.
Fell off completely.
Oh,
yeah. Generational too, man. Triple Crown winner disappeared within 2 years.
Yep.
3 targets, 1 reception for 6 yards today. That's crazy.
The Jets on the board with a touchdown. Yeah, Eagles, Bills. What do you think, Max?
What's the weather? It's pretty nice, right? Because I'm in Ohio. It's pretty nice, so there's no snow or anything. I want to say Allen takes it at home. I think it's one of those games they need to win.
This Bears 49ers game is going to be really interesting. I think obviously the Rams beat the Falcons. I think the Bears probably take this game.
Yeah, but I saw though Rome's out and 2 other receivers. I think
you're right. Let's give it to the 49ers. They're down 3 wide receivers today. They're down Rome. They're down DJ Moore. They're down Olamide Zacchaeus. You look at Week 18. This game irrelevant for seeding. I'm pretty sure. Let's just say the Broncos take that. Game doesn't matter. Where's the next game that matters? Here's the game. So if the Texans beat the Colts next week and the Jags lose, Texans are in 1st place. Bills will beat the Jets. Yeah, it doesn't look like anything is going to change in the AFC. The only position that are not confirmed right now appears to be Jacksonville and Houston. Because even if New England wins, they can't take the 1st seed from Denver unless Denver loses next week.
And then who are the buys? It's Patriots and
it's Patriots and Denver no matter what.
Denver. Okay.
It's Patriots no matter what.
I was gonna say, the Broncos losing that game, I think.
Yeah, Broncos. So right now it's the Broncos. If they are tied at 14-3, it will be the Broncos. If the Broncos lose the game to the Chargers next week, it will be the Patriots. Number 1 seed right now in the NFC is Seattle, but I believe the 1 seed actually goes through the 49ers. So the 49ers are the team that control their destiny for the 1 seed in the NFC. If they win out, they beat the Bears and the Seahawks. They are 1st seed and will get the bye, which should, in my opinion, also give, coach of the year to, for the love of me, life of my, why can't I think of his name? Where's it gone?
For which coach? The Niners?
Yeah.
Shanahan?
Yeah, should be Kyle Shanahan, man. That team, losing Fred Warner, losing 15 starters on defense, losing half their starting O at different points over the course of the year, losing Brock Purdy for an extended period of time. They end up with the 1st seed in the NFC. That's coach of the year.
Yeah, and I mean, that's, I guess, a big game tonight for coach of the year. Ben Johnson, Kyle Shanahan. If Ben Johnson wins, if the Bears win this game,
yeah, you got Ben Johnson, you got Liam Cohen,
Mike Vrabel,
you got
too?
Mike Vrabel,
like Drake May. He ends up almost getting the 1 seed. That's crazy.
I don't think Vrabel. Wow, and there's a pick 6. Oh no, not a pick
is that
6
who?
for
Philip Rivers.
Yeah, Rivers just threw a duck.
Oh.
I don't think that Vrabel can win coach of the year if they aren't 1 seed in the AFC. I think there's just way too much going on in the NFC for that to be likely.
Well, you got to look at like also preseason projections. Like nobody, I don't think anyone had. Well, Liam Cohen's another one as well.
That's what. Yeah, Liam Cohen in the Jags, right? Their team could have 12 wins
if they win out. Yeah, exactly.
Wow,
Man, the Steelers offense.
A lot of good options this year.
Steelers offense without DeKalen not looking too good.
DeKalen. Mixed is saying Warren is still in 14th after all this, man. Still in 14th. That's so funny.
What other games we have in this afternoon? Oh, the Raiders and Giants, or that's a tank game.
Yeah,
that one is dreadful.
Can we talk about that for a second? I feel like the Raiders should be punished for what's going on in Vegas right now. You're sitting Brock Bowers, the guy who's been playing through injury all year long. In week 17, you decide to move him to the IR. You tell Max Crosby you're not playing week 17 and 18. Max Crosby storms out of the building, is pissed off, gives a really scathing interview about about the decision of the Raiders. Clearly, the Raiders are trying to lose, because if they lose this game to the Giants, they will have 1st overall pick. They will beat the Giants out to the 1st overall pick. Now, the Giants obviously also want to lose. Imagine being in that position. You've got Jackson Dart. You've got what looks to be your quarterback of the future. You've got Malik Neighbors. You've got Cam Scatabo. And you're going to have the 1st overall pick in a class with 3 or 4 quarterbacks. They're going to get whatever they want for that 1st overall pick.
Mm-hmm. No, they should definitely trade back, get a couple picks, and stock up.
Sam, you know what would be really helping the Steelers offense right now? A big 6'4" physical freak wide receiver who could maybe make a play or two on some of these big ones.
Yeah, but you would have to give somebody like that, I don't know, 45 million guaranteed.
At least.
Never.
At least, right? At least,
dude.
Fuck. Aaron Rodgers wearing a modern helmet just looks strange as all hell.
Are we going for it on 4th and 10? We have 3 timeouts, but the punt itself would use up the 2-minute warning. We're going for it. We need 10 yards from our own 20. My God, please.
Oh, and it's batted down. It's batted down, and that's the game.
Oh,
that's rough.
I'll be right back.
My God, I can't believe it's going to come down to a Ravens game again.
After 9 and 8.
I feel like I've lived this 1,000 times, Max.
Yeah. And I think Lamar will probably be back next week. I think.
Yeah.
They'll flex it probably Sunday night.
That's crazy, man. Yeah, what a game. Well, at least I have something to look forward to, despite being incredibly sad now. Obi saying that McBride is 0.6 away from 1st place. That guy is automatic on FDF for the tight end spot all year.
One of my favorite sayings in fantasy is a PPR scammer, meaning like the guys that just catch, like they score 20 points a game, 10 of them are off of catches.
Yep.
That's how I describe Trey McBride. That dude just, and what does he have today? How many? Let's see. Looking at his box score. He's got 8 for 53. Like that is a classic PPR scam right there.
Oh, and that gives him 117 receptions on the year, which breaks Zach Ertz's record whenever he was playing with the Eagles in 2018
Yeah.
for now the most receptions in a single season by a tight end. You love to see him break it too in week 17 and not week 18 because you know that all these records are going to get broken with the extra game now. So that's pretty cool. Congratulations to him. Lomer also celebrating the no on Myles Garrett and getting the sack record today. That's most likely going to be a no. I think there's a chance we get the ball back with a little bit of time because we have 2 minutes on the clock or a minute and 58, so no 2-minute warning. And then we have 3 timeouts. They'll kick a field goal. I think we should have like 20 seconds or something. So there is
You'll have time left.
still a little time.
What's the Cauchy odds right now?
Let's take a look.
Probably like under 10% for sure.
Yep, 5% now. Looking tough. Picking up the Steelers.
You might be able to catch a nice swing there, though. I mean,
Yeah.
They kick a field goal, they drive down the field, that might bump up a bit, but
Don't tempt Dub with a good time. So I was gonna say.
I know Dub's already unloaded the clip on this one.
It looks
That's
like Olave
right.
may have scored right here.
That's crazy, man.
Chris Olave.
Oh, nice.
What an underrated wide receiver. Didn't score, but
Holy.
huge play.
Yeah, Obi already celebrating, says Olave into first place. That's crazy.
Oh,
One of my
nice.
must
Kevin
starts of the
Atkins,
day.
But he had a 60-yard catch. Olave had a massive catch.
Touchdown pass just a couple plays later, and the Saints take the lead.
Felt good about the Saints, boys. Sorry, I had to run off camera to go die for a minute. I'm fighting an illness.
Knock playing through injury. You love to see it.
The flu
I ate
game.
like a whole bag of
Flu game.
Ricola. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. It's just sitting here.
It's
All
that
right.
time of year.
We got, I'm not even showing this. Hold on. Okay. Quarterbacks really quick leading into the last 30 minutes here. We've got maybe not even 4 minutes left in this game. 3 games have ended. The game with the most time on the clock is that Colts Jags game with 7 minutes of in-game time. Everything else below 4 minutes, approaching the end rapidly. Wow, this is a short window here. Looking at the quarterback position, Drake May just short of Malik Willis. That is depressing to see how close he came to taking that lead. Everybody else, atrocious performance from the quarterbacks this week. Chase Brown in second place. We'll hold on to that at least through the 1 o'clock slot. Jonathan Taylor in fifth, 17.7 points. Devon A. Chain just behind. And then the next closest players are ETN and Rico Dowdle, who, barring some big play, likely both out of reach there. Trey McBride has taken the number 1 spot, as we all said he would. Garbage time merchant. He's in first place right now. You're going to likely see a couple more garbage time touchdowns from him, or at least big plays. Hunter Henry in second place, now I believe was been sat with the rest of the Patriots starters, so likely will not move from that spot. The only other active tight end, Tyler Warren, at 6th place with 6.9. And then in the wide receiver, number 1, 2, and 3, and 4 were all in the 1 o'clock window. I mean, when you come into the day with Amon-Ra St. Brown in first place with 14.8 points, you're expecting that to be broken pretty quickly. Olave just short of 30. Diggs at 25 has been sat now for almost an entire quarter of play. Jamar Chase at 3 with 25 points, and JSN now cracking into the top 4. Sam, what's got you giggling?
Just the professional gambler saying that Jalen Warren is now 15th instead of 14th.
There's no way. There's no way that that's true. I said that as a joke. There's no way he's gone down. He has gone down. That is fucking hilarious, dude. Where will he place? 14th? Everyone's like 8th, 7th. He has gone down a spot.
That is crazy, dude.
Wow, he's beating out Isaiah Pacheco and Josh Jacobs, who maybe had the worst game of running back in history.
Did we ever end up seeing, didn't we have a thing earlier of like next tight end to get a touchdown?
No, we went with most tight end points.
Okay, good. So it's resolved one way or the other then.
Please don't.
Steelers are going to get the ball back. Brown's going to kick a field goal here.
Let's go, dude.
So here we go.
Actually, all right, it's going to come down to this drive. 1:44 left. Steelers an obvious passing down situation. Can Myles Garrett get it?
I can't believe how bad I was at clock math, thinking that we were only going to get the ball with a few seconds left. Of course, we're going to get the ball with a bunch of time. We didn't score
And
get a first down.
no timeouts though. Wait, yeah, no timeouts.
Yeah, no timeouts.
Yeah.
Should have like 1:40 by the time we get the ball. Myles Garrett, this is TJ Watt time all the time whenever it comes to obvious passing situation. Got to watch out for the sack fumble. I imagine we'll still do plenty of double pass protection on Myles Garrett, but at this point, you gotta try to win the game. If he's gonna get the record, he's gonna get the record. Go sling it, boys.
I'll have some shots.
I know that this hurts for a Steelers fan to watch, but I think as an NFL fan, this is the best case scenario. Steelers losing this game makes week 18 so good.
Absolutely.
Brian, you guys see this touchdown?
Who?
Jeez.
Another one?
Yeah. 19-yard touchdown.
Dude's an animal.
Touchdown.
Who was worried about Trey McBride?
Obi is a Olave and McBride believer, and the dude is feasting today. You know who else is feasting? Is our boy CI 1986. Not only did he get the Tyler Warren, the only person to pick Tyler Warren earlier, he also apparently said Warren will finish 15th.
Holy shit, for real?
I haven't gone back and checked, but that's his claim. We'll validate at some point.
Okay,
But that is hilarious.
If that is the case, we're also gonna we'll find a way to get a couple more of you some packs here, because that is we've done this now 5 weeks in a row. That's the first time that somebody has gone and said, "Hey, fuck everybody else. I'm gonna be the one guy who picks a different thing," and has won both times.
Cleaning house.
You should go play the lottery tonight.
That's awesome, man.
This has got to be like one of the best tight end seasons of all time, though, for McBride. Like,
yeah, for sure.
Like you said, 117 or 118 catches. He's got 1,200 yards, 11 touchdowns.
Phillip Rivers on 4th and 11, and it's broken up. The Colts unable. Man, I'm getting dicked down. I got the Jacksonville Jaguars by 3.5. They currently have a 3-point lead. And I got the New Orleans Saints by 2.5, and they currently have a 1-point lead. I'm getting wrecked by this spread. Zach Charbonnet gets into the end zone for Seattle. We also have Seattle and Carolina over 42.5. I'm pretty sure we're a touchdown away from that. So if Carolina Panthers can make it down to the end zone, we've still got a chance of hitting that one. Steelers kicking off this drive.
Maybe the most important drive of the season here for the Steelers. Two really quick things. We're having a side conversation with Jatel and a couple others in the FDF chat. Kincaid and Bowers neither of them are playing. Bowers is on IR. His replacement will be Michael Myers. The replacement for Dalton Kincaid, who is confirmed out today, will be Dawson Knox, the other tight end for Buffalo. So those are who you're looking at. Kittle's replacement, Orn, is Robert Tonges or some shit like that.
Yeah, Tonges. I actually left in my Buffalo tight end selection specifically because I liked more as Dawson Knox as I did with Kincaid. Kincaid has been going down the target list quite a bit, usually in favor of Knox. So if Kincaid can stop stealing catches from Knox and they just target Knox more instead of swapping back and forth between them, I actually think there's a decent chance he has a pretty good game. Steelers now at the 50. Rodgers slung a good one off the rip.
All right.
Did they make a decision on Kittle? Is he out or is he?
Kittle, highly unlikely that he does not play. I don't think they've ruled him out, but it sounds like it will be Tonjes in. Oh my God, Aaron Rodgers dealing.
Let's go, baby.
No way to stop the clock, though.
Don't spike it, though.
He's going to have to. It's kind of crazy that they chose to throw that ball into the middle of the field there.
I mean, you still have a full minute and you're at the 20. I'm fine with that. Just don't spike it and waste it down. Here we go. Yeah, see? Line up in shotgun, couple of hot routes. Get the ball out there.
Quick pass.
He's at the 10, baby. Let's go. Come on, same thing. Run it back.
Yo, this game going to OT.
It's looking good, Sam.
Holy shit.
What's Cauchy at? What's it at right now?
The Cauchy
Yeah,
line.
knock, pull it up, pull it up.
Yeah, we'll pull this
30
up right
seconds. No more spikes. Rogers is still slinging it. Let's go. He throws it, and we get out of bounds at the 6. Let's go.
now. 25% Cauchy line right now.
25%. Who took that swing?
Second and goal.
Holy shit. This reminds me of that. You guys remember that game where it was like the Packers and Cowboys, and there was one Packers fan in the arena, and he takes a Snapchat of himself smiling, and he like turns it around, and all the Dallas Cowboys fans are celebrating because they just took the lead with like 30 seconds left, and he's like, all these fuckers believing they actually have a chance to win, and Rodgers goes down and puts up like 90 yards, takes the game.
Myles Garrett was lined up so wide.
Oh, Rodgers almost just threw a pick.
Garrett was literally lined up on top of a wide receiver. That's how wide he tried to get outside of that tackle.
Jesus.
And he doesn't get there. Great coverage.
Terrible pass. I think that was actually on the receiver, right?
Yeah, receiver ran the wrong
outside
route.
instead of inside.
There's no way Rodgers makes a throw like that. That's
Yeah.
an incorrect route.
You're telling me that the legend Marquez Valdez-Scantling didn't know what he was supposed to do on that route? I reject your hypothesis.
Look at Garrett, bottom of your screen, lined over the slot receiver.
Jeez. What? Oh my God.
Another
The
bad
same
route
thing.
from MVS.
The same fucking player. The same thing. What are we doing? You can see Rodgers losing his fucking mind, as he should.
It's like somebody read in the... Yeah, dude, he has this free. Look, he settles down.
Dude. Oh, 4th and goal from the 6. Send us to OT, boys. Come on. That's insane that they threw the same thing to the same player and he did the same fucking thing. That's crazy.
So this is the last play of the game, barring an overtime. If Myles Garrett doesn't get it here, the resolution will be no. Myles Garrett will not get the sack record against Pittsburgh. 3 times in a row to MVS. 3 times in a row.
Why were you throwing it to MVS 3 times?
Because DeKalen isn't out there.
Oh.
It's gonna come down to next weekend.
Rodgers about to get in a fight with some dudes. That's crazy. Again, I don't want to fire Mike Tomlin, but there's 3 of us on this call. Do either of you guys think that was a good choice?
I think no, I don't think it was a good choice. I also think that play looks wildly different with DK, and I think that they're trying to fill and save and run that slot. So
yeah, but that's when you don't run that play. He's
yeah,
not there.
exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Thank you, Max.
Yeah. No, I agree.
What?
So this is what's gonna happen. The Ravens are getting in. That's what's gonna happen.
I'm gonna yeet myself off a building.
Okay, so as we're looking at that real quick, the market will resolve to know there. Myles Garrett did not get the sack record against the Steelers today. So if you had said yes, you're wrong. Snake says DK makes that catch guaranteed. At least New Orleans seems to be winning. Somebody said something about the Colts a while ago, but I can't seem to find it. Okay.
Crazy.
If you were somebody who said that no, Myles Garrett would not break the sack record today, DM me at ITSGNOC on X. We will get you sorted. And then the only remaining thing is the Tyler Warren thing, which I will sort myself and get to you guys. But there's the list. Send that to me if you were correct, Lomer. I know that you were correct. I know that the Wi-Fi name also is correct in guessing that Myles Garrett would not break that sack record. Okay, we're going to look really quickly at what is available. Seattle and Carolina, New England and the Jets are about to wrap up. Indy and Jacksonville, 20-17. That is the final game that is within range. We'll watch the end of that game sort of play out. Looks like New Orleans just iced this one. Is that
was crazy?
is that Austin?
What a nice little bounce out.
That may have put Alvin Kamara up into the top 5.
No, that wasn't Alvin Kamara.
No, but
that
it was Estienne, but who's the stand-in for Kamara.
Oh, Kamara's out. Yeah, that's
Kamara
right.
just on the outside, 6th place, just behind
Wow.
Jonathan Taylor. Huge play there.
No one saw that coming. Jesus.
Looks like the game is over for the Bucks. They will be not eliminated, but
Yeah. Over.
Zach Charbonnet. Okay. So as some of these things are beginning to resolve, let's take a quick peek. There's only a few minutes left in the 1 o'clock slot here, so we'll wrap up shortly. But let's take a look at our stat tracker. Okay, so a couple of games have resolved here. The Steelers have not won. So the Steelers have lost to the Browns. Looks like the Saints just iced it for the Titans. Bengals will have won. The Seahawks will have won. The Dolphins will have won, and the Jags will have won. So this has changed not a whole lot in the playoff picture right now. Buffalo, I believe, can place no higher than 5th. I don't think that there's a path for the Buffalo Bills to winning the division, barring the Patriots losing next week to Miami, in which case they would then take 2nd place overall, provided they beat the Jets. So nothing really has changed there. Max, before we let you go, Sam and I were talking about this at the beginning of the show or prior to the show, but I want to take a quick look at the stat leaders for a couple of categories, and I want your prediction on who finishes the year in the number 1 spot. So, as it looks at the passing leader right now, Dak Prescott, Jared Goff have both played this week. They are currently 1-2 at 44-82 and 42-33. Matt Stafford has not played this week yet, so he has a game in hand. He's about 300 yards back of Dak Prescott, 2 games remaining in the season. Of these 3 guys, Prescott, Goff, Stafford, who do you think is most likely to end the year with the most passing yards?
I think it comes down to if Dak plays next week or not. If he doesn't play, I got Stafford for sure.
Sam?
But
Yeah, I agree with Max's logic. He has the most to play for. The reason why he's going to be slinging the ball makes sense. Stafford.
Awesome. I think it will definitely not be Jared Goff. He's likely not playing for the rest of the year. I would imagine you shut him down. I'm going to say Dak Prescott, simply because I think Dak Prescott is a guy who historically has padded those stats quite a bit. I love Stafford. I think Stafford is your MVP this year, but I think Prescott plays next week, and I think he finishes the year in the current spot that he's at, which is number 1 overall. Rushing yards, James Cook, Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor currently playing about 40 yards back of James Cook, 50 yards back of James Cook. He has 70 yards today. James Cook will be playing at the 1 o'clock slot. Derrick Henry only has 1 game left, so we'll consider him in the slot here. Derrick Henry, you got to figure by the end of today, will likely be about 100 yards back of James Cook and Jonathan Taylor. Of those 3 guys, who do you think finishes the year as the number 1 rusher in the NFL?
What's the time? I mean, Derek will be playing for something. What about if Buffalo wins today? Will they be playing for something next week or no?
Still win the first seed in the AFC East.
Okay. Oh, I want to go James Cook. I think he'll finish it off.
Yeah, me and Max are seeing this one the same way. I think there's like a 0% chance that Derrick Henry ends up even close to this. Jonathan Taylor, maybe they just run the ball a bunch and Phillip is riding the bench or something next week, but I'm taking Cook as well.
Yeah, how tragic. Taylor starts the year in a position where it looks like he had a legitimate case at MVP, 2K total yards, 30-plus touchdowns on pace. Everything falls apart there. Hard to disagree. I think James Cook probably ends the year, barring like a back-to-back 200-yard pair of weeks from Derrick Henry. You got to figure James Cook probably ices it this week. All right, final question here. Why is Amon-Ra not here? Oh, there we go. It's so weird to me that every other category automatically filters by yards, but when you click receiving, it filters by total number of receptions. You're looking at number of yards. Really, there are only 2 people in play here. JSN, who is currently 40 yards ahead of Puka. JSN obviously playing right now, doesn't have a huge week, about 80 yards right now. Puka Nacua sitting just there, about to play I think tonight it'll be at the 8 o'clock. It's really a 2-man race. Which of these 2 guys do you think finishes? Both teams have something to play for.
I'll double down with my Stafford pick and say Puka overtakes JSN and Stafford overtakes Dak.
Sam?
Yeah, you've got a guy who, in the head-to-head matchup, absolutely dominated. JSN also sort of on the downswing, not necessarily, playing poorly, but him and his quarterback aren't synced up the same way. Meanwhile, Puka puts up 225 in your face. I'm taking Puka.
I think Puka Nacua has traded brain cells for the ability to be really, really good at catching the football.
Monkey paw curls, dude.
Yeah, and I'm inclined to agree. It's unfortunate that he cannot. He actually does have a chance for the Triple Crown here. So the receiving touchdown leader is Amon-Ra St. Brown at 11, JSN at 10, and then you've got Trey McBride at now off the backs of today will be at 12. So Puka would need 4 touchdowns to have a chance at that Triple Crown over the course of the next 2 weeks. But it would be crazy to see Matt Stafford have his 3rd Triple Crown receiver. Megatron, Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua knocking on the door, leading the league in receptions, just behind JSN in receiving yards. All 3 of us seem to believe he'll finish the year out at that number 1 receiving spot. It would be crazy to see. Colts game looks like it's just now beginning to wind down. Phillip Rivers, the only quarterback in this game to have thrown a touchdown pass, which is another moral victory for the 44-year-old father of 11, grandfather of 3. The 2nd grandfather in history to play in the NFL, which is just the dumbest sentence possible.
Well, who's the other one?
I believe the other one was Kurt Warner after his 2nd retirement.
Wow.
Yeah.
Throwback.
Yeah, this one is big for my over bet, my Jacksonville to win bet. If Jacksonville kicks a field goal here, we'll hit. If not, it's out. So I need them to get stopped and to kick that. Oh, disgusting.
All right, guys, I'm going to have to hop out here, but I appreciate you guys for having me on, and have a nice rest of your holiday break and Happy New Year. Sam, I'll be pulling for you next weekend.
Thanks, brother.
Appreciate it,
And
Max.
sorry for the bad end of the year.
You too, brother. You too.
There's always next year.
Tragedy strikes. Appreciate you coming on,
God,
Max.
I hope I don't
Appreciate
join
you guys.
Take it easy, man.
Later, bro.
All right. We have got just a couple things left in this day. Looks like this Colts-Jags game might actually be the final game winding down. Okay, just to kind of go over. So Myles Garrett resolved to no. Myles Garrett did not get the sack record today against the Patriots. The winning tight end was Tyler Warren. Jalen Warren actually went down in the standings. And then I believe we had one other one, which for the life of me, I cannot remember what it was, Sam.
The sack record.
No, and the other one was which underdog do we think will win? The only underdog at that point in time that looks like it will win is the Saints. So it'll be interesting to see. We have somebody posting in the FDF chat. There are 2 win and get in scenarios next week in the NFL. If you're somebody who is watching this show and playing FDF as an opportunity to kind of learn a little bit about American football, really, really interesting scenarios happening for you next week. So Steelers, Ravens, winner gets in the 4th seed in the AFC. Bucks, Panthers, because both teams lost today, winner gets in for the 4th seed in the NFC. 2 incredibly important games in week 18, which is typically not normally the case. You're also going to have a couple of games for seeding and things of that nature. So plenty to watch in week 18. Week 18, if you're unfamiliar, is a little bit of a weird week. Teams who are clinched, teams who cannot move up in their seeding, tend to rest players. Teams who are eliminated tend to rest players. So most games will kind of be dumb to watch, which will make it fun for this show next week because there's always some bullshit that happens in week 18. But week 18 will have a couple of games with some seeding implications. You're looking at that Jacksonville-Indianapolis game closing out now with 18 seconds, 2 minutes left on the Saints and the Tennessee Titans. And it looks like that Cardinals game is now complete. Cincinnati winning that one 37-14.
The Saints look like they're going to be punting here, so we'll see what ends up happening. But man, that pass from Cam Ward on 4th down, I saw him complete it. I thought that they were still in the red zone. Turns out, no, that's not the case because his knee just barely grazed the ground. But he has this pass where he's basically horizontal and ends up slinging it 15 yards to the side to get it on 4th and 10 if that knee doesn't touch. Really, really impressive athletic play. I think that guy's going to be quite good.
That's what I'm saying, man. I think people are underestimating Cam Ward. I think that guy has all the physical tools. It seems like he has the ability to make plays off schedule. He's just unfortunately got you and I catching the ball for him, which is not going to work well from him.
Yeah, another one that I thought was going to be special was Tajay Spears. He's been fine, but not necessarily super impressive. We'll see if maybe they put some stuff around those two and then they're able to end up becoming some great players. I can't believe that Seattle Carolina game was so low scoring. All things said, what a mess.
Yeah, that was kind of crazy to see that play out that way.
As we wind down, just want to say a huge shout out to all of you guys again. They've been hanging out with us in the chat all day. Really means a lot to us. I know it's a long stream and a lot of football, but it makes this so much more fun whenever we're able to watch the games with you guys and do these predictions. Also, CI says he also had, what was it? He had one more pick. I'm missing it. I also guessed no on the sack record. That's what it was. See, I nailed every prediction that we had today.
That's pretty insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
Looks like
insane.
The Colts will take one final shot. They're actually putting in Riley Leonard, who has the bigger arm, I would imagine, to take one shot at the end zone here. A Colts touchdown would not be a walk-off. They would have to kick the PAT. But a touchdown, this will be a Hail Mary pass for the Colts. Riley Leonard into the fray for one snap. Just Phillip Rivers just does not have the arm. It would be great to have Anthony Richardson right now. But this is about a 55 yards through the air to the end zone. I don't think Phillip Rivers has made that pass in 15 years.
Definitely not.
And and the Titans game also not over. It's an 8-point game, so a touchdown and a 2-point conversion could give the Titans the opportunity to force overtime here. Here's Riley Leonard taking the snap from the Colts. Likely Alec Pierce would be your downfield target here.
Let's see.
My God, the Jags rush 4 and they get to Leonard. Leonard throw.
That's crazy.
Intercepted.
Good pass. It's in the end zone.
It was a great pass. That's about as good an opportunity as you can. That's why you bring in the young guy, bigger arm. No chance Phillip Rivers is throwing that ball to the end zone. So the Colts are now on an 8-game losing streak. Start the year 8-1. Are currently sitting at 8-8. True tragedy. And now it's just down to that Titans game. A minute left. 3rd and 2 on the Titans 38-yard line.
Obi asking what we mean whenever we say the Saints were underdogs because they were overdogs to start the day. Whenever we did that one, it was, I think, at the beginning of the 4th quarter, they were down 6 at the time. So
yeah,
technically,
and the line was 60% for the Titans, 40% for the Saints. So Obi, it's not based on opening line. It was based at the moment in time in which we opened up that bet. Cam Ward gets that first down. Oh my, almost throws a pick. Sam, I'm actually just going to switch straight to the broadcast for Saints and Titans just to watch that.
Yeah, sounds good, man. A couple of people talking about the replacements for Kittle and Bowers. Can you remind us who they are again?
Replacement for Kittle's unconfirmed. It's not currently live on FDF because Kittle's has actually not officially been ruled out, or at least wasn't ruled out an hour and a half ago when we looked. But unlikely to play. So it'll likely be Robert Tonjes, who is the replacement for George Kittle. Bowers is Michael Myers. And then there was one other tight end that is out, I believe Dalton Kincaid, which would then be Dawson Knox. To Sam's point, Dawson Knox has kind of just been the guy anyway in Buffalo over the last couple of weeks. So not a huge loss on the side of Kincaid, but Michael Myers also been somebody who has been quite a bit of a dog the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, at the end of the day, the reason that I'm not bullish on keeping Bowers in for that replacement, because he's not a bad tight end. I just don't like that offense. I just don't know necessarily. If you take Bowers' special talent away, I don't think that tight end is going to get the ball anymore. Awesome to see. I see a comment on Twitter from Christina Luana saying that they just started to learn more from Amplified about NFL football. Really appreciate that. It's so awesome that we get to do this every single week, and so excited to be able to run it back next year. Hopefully, also for you guys that have been joining us each week, whenever NFL.fun, or sorry, football.fun, aka sport.fun, which is called that for a reason, is going to be launching NBA basketball. We're very much hoping to continue doing Amplified before the NBA season. And then who knows what might be after that.
Cody Ford is an offensive lineman for the Bengals. He had a 21-yard reception earlier today. They lined him out as a wideout. It's his birthday as well.
It was an amazing run. It was catch and run, too. It was beautiful.
All right, we got 38 seconds left in the final game in the 1 o'clock window. We'll do a recap of final positions for the 1 o'clock slot once this game is done, and we will call it a week. We will catch you guys next week. The only game currently live, 18 seconds. Titans versus Saints, a 5-10 team against a 3-12 team, 2 rookie quarterbacks, probably the 2 best rookie quarterbacks of the class. We'll see how this one shakes out. The
Fingers crossed, man. If the Titans score a touchdown, I'm gonna lose this over 2.5.
You got to get rid of that ball, Cam. Oh my God, intercepted.
Oh,
Nope.
I think he was out.
Out of bounds, yeah.
Just barely.
That's a really brutal play, though, because you eat 10 seconds on the clock scrambling around there. A veteran quarterback probably throws that ball away almost immediately and just goes next.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he only gets 1 foot down.
Close. What's your game of the day after this one, you think, Knock? Is it that Bills-Eagles that we were looking at?
Nah, it's that Bears-Niners game, man. I think those 2 teams are incredible. 2 Coach of the Year candidates. Caleb Williams, Brock Purdy, 2 QBs that don't get enough love. 2 teams that are built well, are coached well, are playing well, and first seed in the NFC is on the line for the 49ers. I think that's a great game. Yeah, they're only going to get 1 shot here, and Cam Ward strip sacked. Wait, hold on.
Dude. What?
What an athletic freak, honestly. Maybe the craziest ending to a game. That was
ridiculous.
Madness, but yeah, it's
funny,
definitely
man.
that Bears 49ers game.
Well, I'll take Eagles Bills then. I think the Bears 49ers is going to end up being a blowout, unfortunately, with 3 of their best offensive players out. The Niners are playing some of their best football. I think the Eagles and the Bills more evenly matched between those 2 teams, both kind of shit shows compared to what they've been in previous years, but should make for an entertaining game. And it's the only afternoon game that we have that's worth watching, because the Giants and Raiders certainly is not worth tuning into.
Hold on. I will push back on that one, Sam. The Giants and Raiders game, loser gets first overall pick, baby. It's true.
So we're going to see some truly disgusting football trying to give away that win.
Okay, we're going to run through this and we'll call it a day, guys. Appreciate you guys watching, sticking around with us for the last 4 hours or so. Drake May ends the day just 0.1 points short of Jordan Love. Truly tragic. Malik Willis, of course, standing in for Jordan Love. Baker Mayfield breaks into the top 4, has a much better day overall. RB position, Chase Brown breaks into 2nd place behind Derrick Henry. Jonathan Taylor in 5th. SDM filling in for Alvin Kamara just outside in 6th place. Devon Chain can't break into the top 5. Tight end position, Trey McBride well ahead of Hunter Henry with 23.6 points. We told y'all, garbage time merchant Jacoby Brissett loves to just chuck that ball up to that man right there. Tyler Warren in 4th place, and that will be it for your tight end position in the wide receiver slot. Chris Olave, Obi-Wan is happy. In number 1, another huge week. If you had him in fantasy football, this guy may have won you a championship. He's had 20 plus points over the course of the last 4 weeks. Pretty insane run from him. Stephon Diggs at 2. Considering he was benched in the 3rd quarter, pretty insane to see him holding on to that number 2 spot. Could have easily been first, just 4 points behind Olave. Jamar Chase did nothing outside of those 2 touchdown passes. We cursed him today. JSN in 4th. And then that's basically it for active wide receivers. BTJ coming in 10th place. One quick look at the running back slot. Jalen Warren finished worse than where he started when we brought up that competition. And that is your FDF standings for week 17. Remember, next week, two win and in situations. You've got the Steelers and the Ravens. That game is currently scheduled for 1 o'clock. It'll likely be flexed to Sunday night, so we unfortunately won't be able to watch that. I do believe, however, the Bucks and Panthers game will be in the 1 o'clock window, so it'll be a lot of fun to watch that play out next week. A bunch of other teams have an opportunity here to sort of break in to that playoff slot. Seeding is at risk and a bunch of those things. So we'll watch a bunch of fun football. I do think that Giants Raiders game will be fun, Sam. I think you should watch it at the 4 o'clock window.
It's certainly going to have some lowlights for us to consume before and after. Excited to run it back for one more week of regular season football. We'll see you guys next Sunday, same time, same place. Thanks again for hanging with us.
Peace, guys. Thank you.